fighting evil with all our might. When the battle calls our name, we'll rise up and play the game. For tomorrow, strong and bold, hero stories to be told. Mystic hammers, armor gleams, shining bright with cosmic dreams. Enemies fall as we stand tall. Uru warriors, heed the call. This realm of heroes fight, we defend with all our might. Uru warriors, strong and true, together we'll see it through. Standing tall despite how much you fall. Skill issues haunt us, but we answer the call. Climbing ranks with dreams so bright, only to slide back down each night. In the realm of Uru where we stay, mastering the art of losing our way. We fight with all our Uru might, yet end up back where we started the fight. Mystic hammers, armor gleams, shining bright with cosmic dreams. Enemies laugh as we rise and stall. Uru warriors, heed the call. In this realm of heroes fight, we defend with all our might. We defend with all as we fall and true together. We'll see it through the call. In this realm of heroes fight, we defend with all our might. Accept our trash as we fall and rise. Uru warriors reaching for the skies. Oh, embrace the chaos, the thrill of the chase. Skill issues abound in this endless race. Back to the bottom where we belong. The tilt is real and claims the strong. We are warriors.
Woo. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we made it. It's Tuesday. I haven't seen you since last week, and my oh my, has it been popping. That said, I've been grinding till this very second I made it. In fact, something you may have heard while that intro was going on was the delivery of this sweet nectar of my life, H2O. Oh, I needed that. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing this fine Tuesday? Already on the call with us, we have a random dude, aka, well, we call him the puppy around these parts. How you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. What up, Nitro? Good to see you coming in first, my man. Number one in our hearts, my main mod. What up, Miz? I hope you get some sleep. Yeah, it's probably about sleep time for you. What up, JJ? Bro, he's been hating on me. He's in my battle group, but he's getting mad that I'm soloing all my fights. Well, almost all my fights, right, JJ? Didn't quite go that way this morning, bro. It went a little sideways for a minute. What up, CG? Good to see you. What up, Samail? Yeah, it's a big yapping stream today, ladies and gentlemen. Big yapping. We're going to do mostly yapping, in fact, and I can't wait till the yapping is going. JWill is going to be joining us here shortly. So, puppy, do definitely provide input. I may direct things at you, but primarily we set this up for me to pick JWill's brain and let him help us develop some thoughts and perspectives on game stuff.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just hit me with it. I'll be here for like 40 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yo, what up, Afo, my brother? Good to see you, man. What up, McGee? My main man. What up, Rye? Good to see you again. Hey, Ron, always a pleasure, my man. Always a pleasure. Well, since you're here and he's not here yet, puppy, let's start with the day's gimmick. And while we're busy yapping, we are going to do some Realm of Legends auto fight. Each of you who get on the list, and of course, you know, well, I guess I'd say members can shortcut, but since members don't exist right now, I guess you can't. I did check the mailbox today. My address verification still isn't here. Member streams coming back soon. Speaking of which, this is very much one of those types of streams that you would see in the members clubbing of what we do, given kind of the background and insight into how we do some of the videos or podcast type stuff.
Did I drop a line? I did not drop
puppy,
a line. Sorry.
If you pick a champion and that champion gets further in Realm of Legends than anyone else, you win the pleasure of knowing that you picked a champion that made it farther than anyone else. So with that said, who would you like to put into the realm of legends to make it as far as possible?
So does amount of time taken matter?
It is not time taken. It is simply distance. If you pull some sort of golden thing, now I will say, if they get stuck in like a non-ending fight like Wolverine, I'll end it after some subset of minutes, right? If they're not going to end that fight. But if they are chugging away and making progress, I will not stop them. If you consume this entire stream with one champion auto-finding Realm of Legends, you'll be automatically victorious.
So what rank is your King Groot?
My King Groot is rank 2. I have Deathless King Groot, 7-star rank 2. My regular King Groot is 6-star rank 3.
Oh,
I remember back in the... You think real quick. We got our main man today, JWill, Jason Jabari Gaming. Good day, sir. How are you doing this fine Tuesday?
I am well. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. Let me pop in here and turn you up a bit in my ear.
Yeah, I'm just
so I can hear all of that JWill majesty.
What
up, Laser? Good to see you. Speaking of Laser, you guys remind me, I'm going to start a little poll here. Did you like the Alliance War video? That can be a double entendre.
Who would be fun? Who would be the most fun? Let's do Nefaria. Do you have one?
I don't have one. I don't know why you got to be like that and just rub it in my face.
Dang.
Damn.
Right? And what we got going on here, JWill, I know we didn't really have a chance to catch up, but the gimmick for the people that are just watching, right, as we're kind of going to get into yapping, and I don't just want to like put words on the screen and go back and forth, is we're going to auto fight Realm of Legends. You get to pick one champion. Whoever makes it the farthest wins the pleasure of knowing that they picked the champ that went the farthest.
Gotcha.
All right, let's do Ironheart then. Yours is duped, right?
Mine is duped. Puppy, that is a good choice. I like where your head's at. It's a very befitting choice for you. So let's let that go. Ladies and gentlemen, you see it here. Rank 3 Ironheart goes into the Realm of Legends. Aaron wants to know if you dropped from line altogether. I don't think so. I think he just chooses where he yaps. So what up, Andy Beckett? Good to see you, my brother.
No, he's referring to. I left a bunch of line chats because I get tagged like 800 times a day, and I was just tired of it.
Yeah,
like nothing against anybody in the chats, but you know, guy needs a break sometimes.
No, that's completely fair. I think you know, last time we were streaming, half, and I appreciate you, brother, and you enjoyed the drive. Half got under Tommy's skin a bit, and Tommy left the you know, the Discord and stuff. I messaged him and followed up, and all's well. You know, we're good. So half, I hope you did get a chance to go pop by. But you know, sometimes when you're in chats and you're in conversations and people are talking at you and to you and saying things and engaging you in things, it's taxing, right? So it totally makes sense to kind of step back and reflect and take a look at things and decide what you do and don't want to participate in, which really is the core of the discussion we're at today, right? I mean, that's how we got here. We got here with what exactly am I participating in, and do I want to continue to do so? So I feel that. Leaving the line chat. I went wakeboarding yesterday. So much fun. Been hanging with friends at the lake in the lake house. Staying hydrated, of course. Good to hear, CG. That sounds wonderful. Cheers to you, brother. Enjoy.
Wakeboarding?
Yeah, I love Tommy too. I got a lot of love for the people in this community, the streamers in the community. You know, I've been in the game a long time, even though I haven't been putting, you know, content out and my name out, etc., and engaging with people in this level. You know, I love this community. It's the only reason I'm still playing this game. And you know, there's a lot of that to be said for what we got going on. So with that, I would like to shift some gears. We're gonna let this play in the background. Yo, what up, Anthem? What up, Icarus? Hey, Anthem. No, don't worry. I also messed up once. Listen, I should have caught it too, man. It's a team effort. We made it, bro. We got the W. Let's go. We got the W. Let's get some
Who y'all beat
voiceover. Gotta
next?
get those likes up. Last I checked, we were at 13. We were at 13. So where I'd like to start today is I'd like to kind of just start with JWill, because one of the things I noticed, so I spent, oh my goodness, so many hours since Friday into today. What up, Zemo? Good to see you. I spent so many hours just listening to videos and listening to perspectives and thoughts and thinking about the post, right? Reading the post, breaking down the post, thinking about the game and kind of where we've been before. And I linked a bunch of those in the description. So that's basically the subset of videos. Some other people have put out other things. All due respect to everyone. Everyone's got perspective and opinions and thoughts and all the things. So, you know, go watch those things. But, you know, we're boiling down this piece of information. And one of the things I noticed is that JWill and I overlap a lot. And I really respect his perspective and his opinion. And he was quite prescient. If you guys don't know, a couple weeks ago, he put out a State of the Game video. And I couldn't help but notice in that State of the Game video, he had some pretty astute things that he called out about terms of the game. But there's one that really stuck out with me that I'd like to start with. And that is, you know, the acknowledgement and notice that BG's was effectively being willfully ignored. That's not quite how he phrased it, but basically brought that out. And then, of course, we got the post on Friday, which effectively acknowledged, yes, we intentionally decided to ignore Battlegrounds for a year. And so, JWill, where's your head at? What are you thinking? Where would you like to start in terms of this kind of, you know, realistic, raw, here's where I or we are in this game?
Okay, so we're starting with Battlegrounds. Excellent. And I just for clarification purposes, because maybe some people don't know, this video debate was hosted by Ghost Dog over 2 years ago, I believe. And I was trying to tell people that the direction that things were going, and I guess we were on Battlegrounds at that topic, was not in a healthy direction, in my opinion. And I'm still there. I am still there. When I think at this time the proposal of relics was on the table, and a lot of different creators at this time was saying, hey, do you guys want 7 stars or do you guys want relics, a little bit prior to when we got here? And I was like, yo, okay, so we're proposing relics or we're proposing 7 stars, but then all of a sudden you guys just did both, right? And then you're telling me that the relic stuff is going to be introduced in Battlegrounds. So then I already thought, okay, so now we're going to have to essentially pay to be competitive to stay at the top, because I already saw a lot of the writings on the wall, and that's what I was, you know, arguing against the entire time. And a lot of that stuff is coming into fruition, as we very well see. I don't think that unless they can make more money, then they're going to put the time, energy, and effort that they need to into BGs as we would like for them to. That's not to say that they won't do like patch jobs and things of that nature, but guys, like the main selling point of Battlegrounds initially was to get you guys to sell into relics and start that whole monetary value thing, right? And then on top of that, they wanted to double down with the trophy tokens, right? Or the Elder's Marks. I'm sorry, excuse me, the Elder's Marks, right? Because that costs substantial amount if you add it up to some of the BG junkies, right, that are just using Elder's Marks, such as like Jock Payne and stuff. Like he even kind of went a little bit in detail on how much the Bastion title ended up costing him, right? That was crazy. So they wanted to double down with the Elder's Marks and the relics. But the problem was, oh wait, no one cares about relics, so they couldn't really monetize that, right? So once they couldn't do that, then the lack, in my opinion, and I can't swear to this, but it was becoming more and more noticeable that, okay, since we can't make a lot of money off of this game mode right now, where can we make the money? Because that's what we need to focus on, right? That's why we're coming up with 500 deals, which if you guys noticed in that debate, I definitely said that was going to be the direction that we were going to head, and here we are, which is sad. We are having so many ridiculous deals at this point. It's normalized now, which is just terrible.
Oh, absolutely true, right? They've broken us down over the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Even more so than before.
So I mean, I my honest opinion on it is, if they can't see any monetary value in it, it's not going to be a priority like that, guys. That's just business, which is sad. But that's my honest thoughts, and this is my honest take on the matter, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think there's definitely some truth to that. I think there's, one of the things that was enlightening as well from the recent communication that we got, which I want to note, first off, as we kind of go down this road. First off, let me say hi to the new peeps in the chats. What's up, Minnow? Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you, Kaus. Ironheart, you say she's getting cooked, bro, but she's been pushing back. She's been pushing back for sure. What up, Birdo? I see you. This is, by the way, a shirt on stream, Birdo. This is more of a passion stream, not a nude stream. Just throwing that out there.
There we go.
All I know is that we will be buffed rewards before spring cleaning drops. Half, that's absolutely something we can talk about in terms of their monetization cycle. But we'll get there. JJ, what's up? We got JWill and Puppy on stream right now. I will take 49 Zola. I took him earlier if I have to, but Strange did fine last war. He did good. You're unsubbing. Don't worry, Birdo. It's coming one day. One day. Yeah, to be clear, Icarus, the likes got to go up on the Alliance War video. I appreciate the likes on the stream for sure, but it has to be on the Alliance War video. You guys get that thing to 20. I'll give you a couple more days. Otherwise, the next one's just going to be more lo-fi and more war fights. And maybe a death this time. I do want to say thank you to Kabam for communicating. I want to acknowledge the good behavior. I will always and will continue to associate our engagement with Kabam as a relationship. Even though it is a business relationship, it is still a relationship. And those relationships are still built on the common pillars of other relationships. So those pillars, I don't just go, oh, well, because I'm dealing in an engagement with a corporation, like I don't have to worry about how they respect me, or the trust doesn't mean something, or love doesn't mean something. Because I understand that the love of many is growing cold in modern society. Lo and behold, there is a good book that was written a couple thousand years ago that basically said that would happen. But I understand that we get to a state of being normalized, that it's okay for a business organization to be able to put ethics and standards and what's right aside for profit. But that doesn't make it how it should be. And it doesn't make it how I'd like it to be, or how I'm going to push for things to be, at least to start. Now, I'm a realist, so I'm pragmatic when we get down to the end of it. And I understand that at the end of the day, to what JWill's saying, money has to be made. But I will forever argue that you stand to make more money from symbiosis than you do from strong arming and playing the numbers game. And if we could get some progress forward in a symbiotic relationship with Kabam, they stand to make significantly more money than they think they can today. But for some reason, the people in business are blinded by this. I think it's because it's difficult work to, put effort and energy into that kind of relationship to actually synergize and have a symbiotic drive. But it's so worth it if you get there. So worth it. So thank you for communicating. It's very appreciated. Let's see, I have some notes here. It is one of the cornerstones. I do also want to note, as I think Trappy did, that we wouldn't be here today if these communications took place earlier. If there was just some acknowledgement of kind of where things were and where things have been, with some realism and like some humility and some accountability and some transparency, we wouldn't be in this position where it has to be contentious and people are scrambling and there has to be last minute posts going out that have been worked on allegedly for weeks because you have people voting with their wallet, which you'll actually finally respond to. So all of that's good. Room for improvement. I agree with JWill. I agree that we need to strike some sort of balance for Kabam in making money in BGs. I don't have good solutions though. I don't have solutions for how this can go. I do think that there have been a significant amount of ideas proposed by the community that I hope Kabam just takes a step back and thinks about it. And where I'm at for this stream right now is kind of just more of this overarching thought, this overarching feeling. Because for me, who Kabam is, what they do, how they operate, it's not a BG's issue. It's not a this or that issue. It's an undergirding issue that has bled into every aspect of this game, whether we're talking BGs, war, questing content, raids, the hyper monetization, the lack of communication, the just kind of, we go into a live stream and it's like it's a freaking infomercial. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here when in the background the game's burning? Right? The game's burning. So, while we think about where we want to take that transition, Puppy, your run is over, sir. Ironheart.
She sold, bro. All she had to do was
Division.
stay above 15.
What? Hey, not a bad run
just-
for a champion that most people would overlook at the drop of a dime,
Yeah.
at the turn of a hat,
Yeah.
2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Okay,
I just
JWill, before we get to more serious tasks, it's your selection time. Before we go to the chat, we're almost to the time where I'm going to turn you loose on the order of who wants to pick a champ.
Now, are the rules? Is it only rank 3s or is it
Whatever you want. No, there are no rules. You could pick a 6-star if you wanted. The only rule is if they're not going to finish a fight, and basically this means if they get to Wolverine and they can't out damage the healing, if they have no way to deal with it,
Yeah.
then at some point in time I'm just going to cut the fight. If they're 10 minutes in, I'm not going to give it to you.
Okay. Well, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go Onslaught, man. I'm not really.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just go Onslaught. I was gonna go Serpent, but we'll go Onslaught.
It's a good choice.
Why?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ironheart made it to Vision. Let's see how the best mutant in the game does. Let's go. Okay, the auto fight's
He's gonna
on.
do worse.
Let's catch up in the chat. What up, Floyd? What up, Skeeter? Good to see you. Say that louder for people in the back. A symbiotic relationship is far more beneficial than strong arming, right? Bro, I can't even tell you in my corporate life how many times I had to go to management and be like, listen, I'm no genius. Okay, I'm a junior college dropout, but do you know what I do know? That there's a reason we have a saying from ancient times like, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Yeah.
There's a better way to approach things. It turns out you don't have to reinvent everything in 2025. The wheel doesn't need to be reinvented. We actually know how to do this relatively well. We got thousands of years of human history documented at this point in time.
One of the things that, well, first of all, I was listening to Cam's thoughts. When I
Ooh,
was
I didn't
driving
catch
home
Cam's. I need to
from
see. I
work.
need to watch his.
Cam just dropped his a few hours ago, and I was
Okay.
listening to it through rush hour traffic driving home, and it was very well thought, very well put together, as most of them are.
I agree.
But it got me, obviously, my wheels turning once again. And one of the things that, and I'm just going to use a brutal, honest terminology that I resent about Kabam right now is not just the monetization aspect of things, where I was very passionate about. But another thing that I've been saying even further back is the fact that we're putting in so much money into this game, and they're using some of that money for this game, but that's just a portion. But they're in there investing in other things with said money that we're investing to make this game great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that really irks my soul. You know, it really, really bugs me, because the maintenance that we could do to maintain a lot of these things that we're talking about is already there. The funding, they're understaffed. Dude, we pay you guys so much money, you should not be understaffed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just shouldn't. The amount of revenue that you guys are bringing in should not only keep the lights on, but it should be doing all the things that we're talking about already. But you guys instead want to double, triple, quadruple down and just be completely greedy, man. And it's just unhealthy. And then it makes me very, very upset, because it's like, what am I paying you guys for? That's how it makes me personally feel. I understand, you know, they have to, well, they don't have to. That's a strong word. I understand that they're going to make investments, but it's like, bro, how about you guys pull from those guys' fund or some other fund, so we can continue maintaining the standard? Because I don't even think we have one at this point. It's just acceptance, and it's been acceptance for a very long time. Like, oh yeah, we know the game isn't great, there's so many bugs, ha ha ha. It's at a point to where we almost laugh it off as an expectation on a new update. We expect bugs. Like, dude, is that the standard? Is that the standard? Then why am I paying on any given day? Let's just keep it. I'm not gonna say what I'm paying. Let's just say, why am I paying thousands of dollars a year?
Yeah.
For that's not even a good standard, right?
Yeah.
And I'm considered to be a baby well compared to a lot of people, right? So what are we talking about right now? And this is for years, so you've had ample time.
Yeah.
But negligence, right? Priorities, right? Like, what is our standard as a community? Because I think we need to hold them accountable, not just when it suits us, to when things get at an all-time low, but hey man, we got a checklist, and if you guys ain't filling each and every box, guess what? You're getting dinged. Is that not what we do in society with businesses and corporations? Do they not have people that hold them accountable? If you're running a restaurant business, do they not have people come in and say, hey, is everything up to code? Right? Is that not, can that not apply for this business too? But I think it has to start with the community, with setting the standards and setting those boundaries, and then having consequences.
Well, amen to that. And I think that's a great thing I think we should develop a little bit, is this idea, this balance between revenue, standards, and where we are as the community with acceptance. So I'm taking some notes as we go so we can try to keep on track. Let's catch up. Still keep up with the chat here. Kurd's in. What up, Kurd? Good to see you, brother. I agree, their communication is probably the point that needs the largest upgrade. Maybe, Kurd. I think that their communication is pretty poor. With a lot of room for improvement, both in terms of how often it happens, what the content thereof is, and as well as the tone, as someone who effectively crafts corporate communications. But I think that there are probably other portions of that relationship thing that they're actually worse at, to some of what JWill's talking about right now. So DLL said a couple months ago they don't communicate is because we complain. He said they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. Well, that's not a good excuse. Not so, Alberto, in a relationship. Okay, I don't want to talk to my significant other because when I do, it lends to this sort of problematic thing. Okay, that doesn't mean you stop talking. It means you try to come at things a different way. You continue to try to move forward because it's an important thing to communicate. And I understand it's not the same as a spousal relationship, but at the same time, leaving your entire community in the dark is not the right answer, no matter what. So you know, posting a dev diary, posting some transparent vision and where we're going and some accountability to it is not a bad thing. If they did what they said they were going to do and are supposed to do, then they wouldn't have such an issue with communication. They wouldn't have such an issue with us complaining. There will always be people who complain. But if you do the right thing the right way for the right reason, you can do what needs to be done and what you think the best balance is and not really care about what other people say. You can bring them in, you can listen to feedback, you can work through things, but at the end of the day, when you're leading a group of people, almost never is everyone going to agree. And there are going to be people who don't know what's going on. They don't know some factor that was led into decision making. They're not going to have the full picture, and they're going to say, you should have done this. And I'm going to go, I respect where you're coming from, but there are things you don't know. And I did this because it was the greatest thing for the whole. And so if they got better at communicating and actually did what they said what they were going to do, we wouldn't complain as much. One thing that irked me was when they called Battlegrounds a niche mode. Kaus, we're going to get back to that. We're going to get back to that. I don't want to get off track right now because this monetization and revenue point is an important thing to talk through. All of this stuff, by the way, I'm going to end this with a summary. Okay, I was asked by Samael last time we were together, you know, what my final thoughts were. And it was so fresh that I didn't have time to like digest this whole thing we had spent, you know, an hour and a half going through. And now that I've thought and kind of weighed the things, I have some final thoughts. So we'll get into the whole niche game mode idea because I think that's very myopic, in my opinion. Elder's Marks is really their only revenue stream and most want to get rid of them. I don't know that that's true, Kurt. I do think there's something to do with champs that would tie to revenue stream as far as BGs, but yeah, we'll see what they can do with marks. Again, there are smart minds in the community. Here's again to this, let's zoom out of the specific issue. If Kabam worked with their CCP and said, how can we make this profitable? Where can we give and take? Where can we earn some income and boost this game mode? Something better than them going into a black box and saying, here's what we think works. Because you're really telling me they went into a room and they were like, listen, we're going to create this here's how we're going to monetize Battlegrounds. We're going to create Elder's Marks and we're going to have a point differential and we're going to create a solo and alliance event that's going to incentivize utilization of marks. And we think that most people will be on the up and up and not abuse it. Really? You really tell me that's how the conversation went in that room? 0% chance, bro. They literally structure the solo and alliance events, every banquet, the way they do for a reason. It's because they know exactly what they're incentivizing. And they knew exactly what behavior they were incentivizing, even if they don't want to admit it or acknowledge it. And it's not a shock that it grew out of their control, because this is what happens when you incentivize something so heavily, right? It grew beyond their control. I made this point on Abdo's stream a couple days ago. Main problem I see is with Kabam is they have a habit of letting a situation go, get past a boiling point. 100%. 100%, Samael. That's 100% what's up. What up, Nugs, my man? Good to see you. I don't know if Puppy, if he's sending PayPal, it's only to me, to my DMs, bro. He's got to send it to my DMs. Okay. Oh, man, you guys are chatting. What up, Skeeter? Great point, JWill. What up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, bro? What up, Frodo? What up, Jerkface? Good to see you all. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, you were a little late, Ace, but we're just getting past the bun, bro. We're still here kind of telling Kabam they did a good job, but we're now starting to get to the meat of this sandwich. Again, something we learned about in the corporate world in terms of how you deliver information. A little bit of bun, warm them up, give them some meat. They should not be running lean. Yeah, we'll get back to that. I want to get back to the staffing thing.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they're not embarrassed. Right? I love that. I think it's Sebastian Maniscalco he's a stand-up comic. He did that whole stand-up special, like, aren't you embarrassed? And bro, it's such good comedy, but that's like Kabam in a nutshell. Like, you rolled out nightmare flops. Aren't you embarrassed? Like, are you kidding me? Is that what you rolled out to us for this thing? Oh, this is wild. Yo, what up, Scorp? Good to see you. Yeah, you keep repping Jay. He's doing good stuff. Push out 2 champs a month. Can't take time to reinvest. That was a great point that I think somebody made. Somebody made the 2 champ a month point. It was probably lags. Bring suggestions, complaints. Complaints positive, exactly. Recommendations. Now, I'm not going to give recommendations today because I don't think they care. And we'll get to that in my summary. Jokes, memes, boycotts set the standard. It shouldn't take a boycott, but that's where we're at. Transparency needs to update the most. Okay, fair enough. That's good input. Someone who's been free to play still bothers me and makes me laugh when they push offers in our face that are disrespectful. That's a big one, Frodo. I agree. With what they're making from the player base, they should be working hard to make their product as perfect as possible. What were you saying, Puppy?
Y'all remember the old deals way back when that was like you spent 1,000 units and got like 500 5-star shards or something like that?
Yes.
That deal that
and
lasted
you say
for
from
like
the old
5
days,
years.
But I have screenshots from like 2 years ago where you could spend like 1,000 units on like a quarter of a 5-star or something stupid. Like there were still predatory, nasty offers that were coming even as recently as the last couple of years.
And it's like those are the type of deals where it's like if you're just like trying to click to go to the next screen, you might accidentally hit one if you're not paying attention. And then it's like there's no like prompt. It's like, oh, are you sure you want to buy this? No, it's just you spent 700 units and didn't even realize it.
Well,
Yeah,
somebody's
no, I couldn't
going
agree
red.
more.
Somebody's going red units. That's because that's a phone call to the bank or something.
Yeah.
It's too real. Oh, it's too real. DLL admitting they don't want to be transparent or communicate is a huge red flag and shows they need to hire a PR team. Skeeter, I very much agree with that. I don't want to get too hard on DLL because I respect what he does. I respect his champs. And I will admit that every time Serpent flipping pounds me with his ridiculous special one or ridiculous medium reach, I get pissed off.
Yep.
And I hear DLL's voice in my head trying to tell me it will be okay when he was doing his deep dive. But I still love him and I respect him. And so I don't want to go too hard. But Kabam could absolutely use a corporate communications PR team and get better at that for sure. What up, love me? I got you, Nugs.
I'm about to have to go, but I
fix.
want to put a little input on this. With like the whole idea of how they keep rolling out spending offers, right? It's like even just recently, right? They dropped what was that deal? The deal that was just like $50. It was a couple days ago. It was like you can get
it's like a third of a Titan.
You can get a quarter.
Tier 7, tier 7 or basic. Yeah.
Quarter of a tier 7, yeah, right. It's like, oh yeah, these deals for like $250 keep dropping, and it's like, hey, you want to get on top of the game, you want to compete with the people who like are at the top level, even though you've been at the top level for like 3 years. So here's this deal, drop quarter of a grand, you know.
Dude,
and it's like,
right?
It's like all of these. There's so many of these people who are at the top level, and I feel like they have to know this, who are just kids, right? And it's like. Like 16 to 20-year-olds, they don't have a job, they don't have they're just trying to play a game, and at the same time they want to be competitive because people are competitive. That's just naturally how it is. And it's just completely taking advantage of that. Like I'm sure there are kids who are like not well aware of like how they should be spending money, who are like dropping like allowances and stuff on this stuff just so they can kind of keep up in events that aren't even like that good and will be completely irrelevant in a couple months. It just feels really
allowance.
Yeah.
But
no, it to me it just feels scummy, man. It's like they know their audience is mostly like younger people, and they still repeatedly will put out these offers that are just not that helpful, and at the same time they look really appealing. And they do this by like repeatedly putting out bad offer after bad offer after bad offer after bad offer. And then every once in a while they'll drop that one offer that's like, wait a minute, this is way better value than the other offers, but it's still not good.
No, it's like when a chick that's a 7 goes and hangs out with a bunch of 4s, so she looks like a 9.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, why? And it's just like there's some people, and the thing is, there's a lot of people who can spend on that and will, and it's like, you know, more power to them. I'm not going to tell anybody how they should use their finances. That's not my place. But it continues to compel people more and more to spend their own money on stuff like this, and it just like, as a business, I understand, because that's how you make money. You want to make money. That is the entire goal of a company. Yeah. But it's just like, man, it's completely disrespectful to the players, and it's like just like their entire revenue source, right? So it's like, just, I don't know. It feels completely, I want to say inconsiderate, but I don't feel like that's a word that makes sense here, because I don't think they would care in the first place, right? Because what they care about is making money. And that's not like a slight at Kabam or anything. As a company, I think that makes sense. You're trying to be as considerate to your like the people who are paying for your product. At the same time, you don't really care about them. You care about making money. That's just kind of how business works.
Well, yeah, a corporation, a corporate business, a business like that is by nature psychopathic, right?
Yeah.
By nature, it is a bottom line, money-driven machine that is exactly what you're talking about, right? It's exactly I don't care about anything other than making more dollars today than I had yesterday.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that as the humans within an organization, you want to craft an organization that works with its community as opposed to taking from its community, because you stand to make more in that symbiosis, right? Again, this is my argument. I don't think a lot of business runs that way. That's why you have, you know, a quote unquote suckers born every minute. You have people who operate that way in business, and it's trash. It shouldn't be that way. But there are businesses that operate this way. Sucks to suck. Get good. You shouldn't have bought that thing. We're just saying we don't want you to be that way, Kabam. Strive to be the other way. Put some work in. That's it.
Yeah, and I think I think my biggest issue with everything that's been going on recently, you guys mentioning that thing about like the recent communication, I hadn't even seen this communication. I didn't know this happened. So hearing about it here was the first I've heard of it.
Oh,
But
really?
just them saying that BGs is like a game mode they've purposefully ignored for a year, it kind of makes sense, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
My passion for BGs died off in like, I don't know, July or something. And so like, that's like what, 3-4 months after they apparently stopped paying attention to it. And it just makes sense to me, because it's like, if you're not going to put in any effort, eventually people are going to get bored. And I guess people have gotten to that point where it's like the rewards and the satisfaction of competing against other high level players is not at the point that it is worth dropping all these hours into something that gives literally nothing.
Yeah.
And I think I'm happy they communicated it to us. At the same time, that feels like just a stupid thing to say. Like
Yeah,
there's a point.
It's very I know we use the terminology tone deaf, and I know that Ace, he liked my wild analogy about the 4s and 7s, but you know what it was kind of like? It was kind of like, I'm gonna keep this lady man analogy. It was kind of like if your significant other or your person you're with came up to you and was like, listen, I've been disengaged for the last year because I've really been out chasing stuff on the side. Now listen, it's better for you that I chase stuff on the side, because we got to make sure that stuff keeps coming in. But yeah, you've been on the back burner for a year, even though I didn't quite tell you that. Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
At that point, like, if it's from a significant other, obviously I'd rather hear the truth. But if that's a friend and like someone who I'm not like extremely close to, I'd almost rather they lied to me. And just said.
I'm glad
nah,
Kabam didn't lie about it, but you're not wrong. I understand from a feelings standpoint. When we were reading it on Friday, I would imagine if you went back and watched it, like, you'll see my spirit drop. Like, my countenance and my spirit absolutely dropped when I was reading what Kabam wrote about how they view Battlegrounds, how they've approached it the last year. Like, it was very telling about how we got here, why we got here, and how flippant they were about how we got here. it was like, oh yeah, we did that. We basically chose to do this without communication, and it was a borderline. It was a gut punch. It was a borderline slap in the face, to be quite honest.
It's like you come into work and like your boss comes up to you and it's like, oh yeah, like we haven't like paid attention to anything that you've been working on for the past 3 months. But you know what? I'm glad you did it. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
By the way, okay, let's get back to where we're going. I got you, Nugs. I know we got some chat. We'll catch up. We're yapping though. This is a yap stream. You know how yap streams go. Don't get offended.
I got it.
Someone in chat. We're gonna start the chat list for your Realm of Legends clearing. As you've seen on this stream, by the way, the rest of the breaking news that we've got, Ironheart is better than Onslaught. Hold your horses. Everyone take her to rank 3. She auto fought farther in Realm of Legends than Onslaught did.
This is true.
So chat,
Well,
I'll be looking for you.
to-
Whoever's first is first. While you're typing, I'm gonna go catch up in chat.
I'm gonna dip out. I have to go somewhere. But it's been nice chatting with y'all, and I hope
Hey.
the rest of the stream goes well.
Later, puppy.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you.
We love you,
Later,
brother.
Let's see. Scorp, I see you, by the way. He got the good car analogy, right? Garage fix it and it instantly breaks. You wouldn't be happy. Your joke, you'd be pissed. So why is this different? I totally agree, Scorp. It's a very good analogy, right? This car that doesn't work. Myopic's a good way. Chaos, yeah, it's the word. Icarus says, Banquet really showed me how little they care about most people. I worked so much extra just to help my alliance in Banquet. We were 1 crystal off top 10. Oof, that's brutal.
That is.
But
very
that's a money machine. CCP can fix a lot of issues rather than just being random testers. That's something we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that in my summary for sure.
Yeah,
I love the game, but feel like I mean so little to Kabam, it sours the experience. Heck, they've even said that time is no value to them, only money spent. We'll do that. What up, Jay? Sorry.
No, I could answer about the CCP because there's a couple different points that I wanted to touch on about that when you're ready, of course.
My man, I appreciate that. That sounds good. Tobias J, congratulations, brother. You popped in first. He said go with Serpent. Then we got Andy Beckett. I got you, bro. So we'll have Serpent for Tobias, and then Deathless Thanos for Andy.
Andy? Yeah. What's up, Devo?
Okay. Andy B.
I can tell you Serpent kills Wolverine.
All right, one of these days I'm going to catch up with you guys. So we're going to catch up, then we'll get back to JWill. No value. They did talk about time. I'm going to talk about that in my summary as well. CCP understands the fundamentals of the game better than Kabam themselves. Totally agree. That itself really feels worthless, especially how much time I put into this game. And the fact they don't see me as any worth is disheartening. I feel that, bro. One off being top 10, we got the same rewards as top 5%. That is pretty nuts. That is pretty nuts. Top 1 to 5% is pretty wild. Okay. So Nug says they buffed the Alliance and solo rewards to monetize Elder's Marks even more and left GC rewards the way they were for so long that it didn't matter. And the use of Elder's Marks to make people farm for better solo and Alliance rewards where most of the reward base was. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree, Nugs. That's what we were talking about. What up, Doug? I see you. Anyone know what a serious Battlegrounds player is, right? I love those non-measurable statements that were getting made. I also had one to that point, and it ties into what we're talking about with monetization. What did they say? I took notes. The majority of revenue was from non-Battlegrounds players. Can you define what you mean by a non-Battlegrounds player? Like they don't play any matches? How many matches do you play to be a non-Battlegrounds player?
Right.
What up, Legend? Good to see you. I should have canceled raids instead of the hotfix. Yeah, it is what it is. Truthy Poo, you need a small window in the corner of chat to tell who's on call. That's fair, Ace. Well, that's, something else we'll actually talk about in my summary because it's, yeah, I got some things to say when we boil all this down to what it actually means, right? Right now we're in the, let's break down, let's have thoughts, let's have feelings, let's all chat about it. But this is going to turn to some practical, pragmatic steps forward by the end of this stream. So we'll definitely do the chat box for call. That's definitely something I should have had, especially since I've been doing calls since the beginning. Sounds good, Andy B. I'm glad you're liking the pace. What up, Rajat? Only 7 revives his comp was weak. They really need to address all the bugs and compensate adequately. Couldn't agree more. I got you on the marks, my man Nugs. We got you, Curd. Kascummy. Even us who can't spend have kids and mortgages and food ain't getting cheaper. Ain't that the truth? Then
See,
offers
that's the
triggers fear of
thing.
definitely out. That's true.
Yeah,
I'm definitely a
FOMO,
4. Glad you guys like my 4s and 7s. It's true though, by the way. It's absolutely true. If you take something and put it next to a bunch of things that look worse, it will look better by pure human nature. So that is exactly what goes on. AFO said the same thing with the deals, and I agree with it. The deals are, you get offered trash, so you're more likely to buy something that's less trashy or just okay. I think the last 2 years has seen rapid growth with a lot of accounts that point that they don't need crappy offers to improve accounts. I can wait till offers improve. It's fair. Making money is fine, but customer satisfaction of that product should be just as important. Totally agree. The objective with the business is to make money, but a better product makes you more money. That agreed. Frodo's definitely bouncing if he doesn't get his rewards. I can totally see where you're at, brother. Nefaria for Curd. I don't have any of the Nefarias, Curd. I really don't. What up, Debo? What up, Acme Anime? Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, the data interpretation we're going to talk about. That's a one. We got niche game mode for future things. Data. Is there something I'd like to talk about with data? Sometimes I wonder if Kabam knows raw data doesn't tell the entire story of player experiences and familiarity with the game. I wish I knew Truthy in high school. I bet you were the guy to go to for ranking the women with analogies. Are you kidding me? Bro, let me tell you about the March Madness bracket. We really want to go on seeds 1 through 16? I don't think you want to know about how savage I was in those days and how much I shouldn't have been that way, class. Don't encourage me to be that way anymore. Okay, we're good. We've caught up on chat. We're here. We've got a list. The list right now is Tobias J, then Andy B. For our Realm of Legends auto fighting, right now in the lead is our boy Puppy. Sounds good, Kaus, enjoy. And now we want to get back to JWill. And chatting, we left off long ago talking about revenue, standards, and acceptance. And I couldn't agree more with this whole, you have revenue not going back into the game. And you're taking money that you're earning, right? People are spending hundreds or thousands of dollars a year at you know, on level. That's, you're speaking for yourself, and that for me it would be hundreds of dollars a year. And you're telling me that the game is too big. You're telling me that you can't put value in all these rewards channels. You're telling me that you don't have the staffing to do things, but then you're telling me that you're laying people off. Then you're telling me that you're creating a whole new game mode. Then you're telling me that you are putting time into 2 champions every month, right? Like, you're putting time into things. You have capacity to do things, and you're creating new currencies. And what? And what are we talking about? Like, you have tens of millions of dollars being poured into this company every year. Where is it going? What is it actually being used for? How good are you at actually optimizing your books to even a reasonable extent with the things that we're talking about right now? How can you come back to us complaining about staffing and basic things when you're inflicting it to yourself? How much of the post from Kabam Crashed was stuff that's self-inflicted?
I mean, it was definitely some. There's definitely some points in there. I was thinking like, well, whose fault is that? But I wasn't.
Right?
It's kind of like, oh, okay, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's wild. So I need to watch Cam's video. I didn't get a chance to watch Cam's video yet, but I know that, and this is a point that you have brought up, so kudos to you. You've brought this up repeatedly. Money that goes into the game that doesn't get reinvested in the game.
Yeah.
I wish we knew what that percentage was.
They are not going to probably disclose that information, but
Mhm.
I thought.
No way.
I'm not sure. Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Mm-mm. If they won't give us basic data, like, let's be real. When have we ever seen some raw Kabam data? Like, when have they actually been like, here's how many people are doing what? Never, right?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
that's part of
maybe
the
somewhere.
issue.
I don't think I've ever seen anything except for what, you know, the Wizard of Oz has shown me from behind the veil.
Yeah.
So it's wild.
I suspect you would not be pleased if you actually knew.
Oh no.
If you
And
actually knew.
that's the other part of it too, right? Like that's we're not even asking like the wrong questions. We're absolutely on point. And the only reason that we don't get data shared with us like that is because you know how upset we'd be if we saw that data. If we saw the books for this organization, can you imagine? And you know what? It's not a Kabam thing. This is most organizations. This is something I've been saying about the United States for 10 years. Because I get worked up when we start getting into political discussions and this side and that side and who's right and who's wrong. And I go, you know what? If I was president, the first thing we would do is we would halt taxes. Why? Because I want to know where the money's going first before I worry about how much more I'm going to go collect from people.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. They have no desire to share with us where that money's going. Even if we completely leave out the customer satisfaction of the debate, which we shouldn't, but for sake of argument, the most base fact is that if your product is suboptimal, you cannot retain your customer base over time. Forget making the player base happy. What they're doing now is just straight bad business.
Yeah.
They're definitely not taking the money they make and putting it back into the game. It's obvious and painful. Yeah, I feel that. This is coming from someone, Samil was saying, dang, I lost him. Perspective of someone with an economics degree. So kudos, good to know, Samil. If I have economic questions, I'm gonna talk to you, bro. The way they're doing the game, which is emphasis on offering deals and champions, not fixing. Totally agree. Totally agree. I don't even think Kabam really runs ads. No, they really don't. They really don't. Their ads are flipping BGs, the niche game mode. But we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that.
I think Brett said something earlier about the fact of having a boycott means that you make the demands and everything, things of that nature, which I would agree with him. But I could tell you from a union's perspective that you have to have some people in certain positions, and then people beneath them and voting and having the discussions. Not just what we're all doing is we're all throwing our inputs, we're all throwing our ideas, and that's great. But there is no structure to what we're doing because everyone's just doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So therefore, how could you actually make a structured list of demands when not everyone is on one accord, basically?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That would be the difficult part. I was just saying that.
And I think the beautiful thing about this is really all this is like, we're calling it a boycott and people are calling it a boycott, and I haven't even said where I fall on this thing. I'm looking at it less as an official boycott, and this is more of a unification. Okay. In December and November and December, I told you guys, we're streaming, I told you that I was targeting my spending because I was unhappy with where the game was. I didn't like where some of the stuff in BGs was. I didn't like some of the stuff from Kabam. And I was going to spend to a point to where I could be competitive for 6 months. And we would see how things went. And then we hit a crappy BGs meta where I took my stance and said, I'm going to take the time and I'm going to boycott this meta. Now, I played some small reasonable amount, but the point was, it was not an acceptable thing. For me, all this really is a unification of people finally reclaiming their money, finally reclaiming their time, finally reclaiming their expectation of some flipping standards, and pushing back on an organization that has had no one hold them accountable for a period of time. And we're all having these thoughts and feelings and taking these actions for kind of different reasons. This is not a unified, here's the specific cause of this is a BG boycott. It's not that. It's not that. It's a we're going to reclaim these things from Kabam because you don't deserve them from us. And here are the reasons why you don't deserve them from us. And the BG's stance is just what's been kind of public right now. But every one of those videos, they expand beyond BG's because again, Kabam's attitude and mentality and their relationship with us, the community, doesn't affect everyone in every mode the same way, but it does affect everyone in every mode. It affects us all. We all have to deal with it. And we all have different reasons to be able to say, I'm sick of dealing with this. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. And I'm okay taking this to this extent to not deal with it anymore, to at least make my point. And you know what? I can't even say that I'm coming in on the boycott because I'm the flipping smallest by far of the fish in this pond. Okay, I'm smallest in terms of subs. I'm smallest in terms of money. I was kind of ahead of the curve in terms of where my feelings were, but now I'm listening to these people speak and I'm saying, preach, brother, preach, because I'm the freaking choir and I'm here in the background letting you know I support and sing the tune too. I'm on board because we've let this come too far, and shame on us for allowing it to do so. It shouldn't have to come to us to push back, but shame on us for letting it go so far.
I agree.
So is there anything else that you want to dive into from the hyper monetization aspect specifically?
No, not really, other than you guys just need to consider how many ways monetization has increased over the past 3 years. That's all I'm asking, guys. Go 3 years back and see how much of an influx monetization has become. And I'm talking in every single way. If you play high tier Alliance War, don't worry. Those boosts get your. Don't worry, those boosts. Yeah. Those boosts, those 3-minute boosts.
I'm probably gonna have to spend units on flipping indestructible boosts, which are 375 units a piece, by the way.
Now who's preaching? Now who's preaching? Right? Okay. All right. So there's monetization. If you're doing map 8 or raids or whatever, and you guys don't got it together, you know what? Guess what? You're about to be spending some units to get some revives and potions. If you guys are doing incursions, zone 25 pushing, you're not good at it, guess what?
Yeah.
You about to be paying for that. You know what I'm saying? So come up with every single way that they monetized. I can't speak. Monetized these things. I just couldn't speak. It was just like I don't know, brain fart. But yeah, just think about that. And then them increasing the deals. Hey, we need to celebrate this. This is a time for a deal. Omega Days. This event. This event. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that over the past 3 years, how much that has been expanded upon. And then that will put things into perspective of why a lot of people are just done with it.
Yeah.
That's what Cam said. He's like, look, man, I can't compete. It's as I said back then. Guys, we had a huge economy break.
Yeah.
So many people when COVID happened lost their jobs, all that stuff, right? So the economy is not in a better state. So why in the world would you increase everything? That doesn't make any sense, right? Inflation has already happened.
Yeah.
And that's with your food, that's with gas, that's with everything else. Why are we going up in a video game? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
Feels an awful lot like trying to squeeze your people. Feels an awful lot like trying to squeeze your people and take advantage of the people that are most dedicated to this game. After you ignored them purposefully for a year.
Yeah.
By the way.
That's why I said
in
my video, I was like, it's kind of more of a user's mentality, in my opinion.
Yes.
It's like no
was one of the notes that I wrote.
Used.
After I was listening to your video today, your note about it being a user's mentality was right on.
And it's not cool. It
No.
just isn't. Or like, I don't appreciate being used. I can speak for myself, right? I can't speak for anybody else, but I don't appreciate feeling like I'm being used in any capacity,
Yeah.
right? In
No,
any
the
capacity.
relationship should be symbiotic. Right? We're both getting value from the relationship.
Amen.
Hey, what up, Affo? Welcome to the call,
Hey,
brother.
what's up,
Hope you're doing
Affo?
well.
What's up? Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate my comment that I put in the chat. Like, this is classic pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered, 100%. They had a good thing going. We're spending, we're loving, we're necropolising, we're loving the game. And they said, "Ooh, look at these spenders. Let's see how far we can ride this train and
Yeah.
do less."
Yeah.
And eventually,
Yeah.
people are like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, they're too greedy. Too greedy.
Yeah, and
Like,
I think
it's
MP
coming back to
MP
life.
was maybe the most concise in making the explicit point of, I totally get you putting Battlegrounds on a back burner for 6 to 8 months to go bring new people in. That makes perfect sense. We want the game to thrive.
Mhm.
We want new
Yep.
people. That doesn't mean you completely ignore your dedicated people. You just don't. You have to balance it. And also, that doesn't mean you balance everything. But you're talking about new versus committed. And you basically took the data analyzed decision and said, well, my committed people won't leave anyway. So what AFO was saying, let's ride it out. We're going to go roll depend on this while we go try to chase as many noobs as we can. All right, I'm catching up in chat. Let's catch up in chat time. Okay, back to Skeeter. It'd be so nice if we could pull financial records where the money is going. Totally agree. I'm willing to bet, to be honest with you, that given the breadth of this community, we probably could get that data, Skeeter. I bet we probably could get that data. I don't know if I want to push things that far because, frankly, I think it would be telling, but it would not be what the vibe needs to be right now. Because right now, as much as we're going to complain, it's complaints and feedback, and then taking a step back to see Kabam's next moves, because they've set the table. Okay, they made clear where things are at and what they're trying to do, and we'll talk about that in summary. But we'll see. I would be very curious. Kabam is understaffed, and the people who still working there are underpaid. I bet that's true. Sounds like a corporation. Genuinely, I wouldn't mind if we didn't get new champs for 6 months and they fixed all the bugs for a small change. For one, I wouldn't worry about new
agree with
champion
that.
acclamation, and second, no bugs. Totally agree, Days.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. No, take the time to fix your foundation before you keep trying to build on it. Like, I mean, I was literally saying this when Nefaria came out last year. Why am I gonna spend hundreds of dollars for a champion when the game doesn't work? And people did, and we have. And now here we are going, why am I gonna spend hundreds of dollars for a champion when the game doesn't work? So it's time to do something different, right? We can't just keep spending hundreds of dollars on a champion and expect the game to work, because they're not gonna fix it if we keep giving them money. Things are never going to get better if this trend continues. We'll see. We'll see. Your comment, aren't you ashamed, is perfect. I run my own small business, can't imagine acting like that. Small business is different than public and corporate companies, but it matters. It does matter. It does matter. Kurd getting that moolah for sure. A boycott in March is useless. Boycott needs to happen in July. Well, Tobias, I agree with that, and we'll see what kind of substance this one has. Last time there was a boycott, it was a BG boycott because it was a crap meta. And I think the only person I know who stuck through the end was this guy right here. This time, I think we're gonna have a little bit more beef going on for sure. I think there's gonna be a little more weight still by the time we get to July, but we'll talk about that. I'm not boycotting. I'm not spending because I'm not happy with the game. If the game changes to my liking, I will choose if I want to spend again. That's perfectly reasonable, Faust.
I agree.
My ally decided as a whole to drop our BG's min so people can make their own choices. Normally we're 450k. Makes perfect sense. Welcome, by the way, Captain BT. The boycott needs to happen during the most profitable sales. That's let's see how the time goes. In the summary, that's one of the things we're going to talk about is let's see how these next few months go. You know, it's a pivotal time. And let's see what it looks like. Otherwise, inconsequential. Did I talk about my decision for next season? Not yet, Zemo. That will be at the end. That's what you do with a stream, bro. You kind of let it build, and then you tease, and then we get to the end and we summarize, yeah? I don't even think Kabam would have addressed the dissatisfaction with the game had the top whales not left and hurt their bottom line. It certainly expedited things. Let's put it that way. The game economy... Oof, why did it do that? The game economy is so antiquated and broken. So, yeah. Looks like it's time to get back in the arena. That's disgusting. One of the notes I have in preparation for this meeting is... Where is it? Imagine your favorite game mode being less valuable than arena. I want you to think about that. And then you're me. Imagine your favorite game mode is less valuable for dollar over time than arena. Cue the sad music. We went July 4th Cyber Weekend to entire week. Kabam had a good thing. They kept trying to push it. Oh, that's when AFO came up here, yeah. During 4th of July, Cyber, you used to only be able to buy one of each offer. Now you can buy 4 instead of 2. There's 5, 6 different Cybers. Totally agree. They know what they're doing. Ace, what'd you send in? What did I miss? Kurd, get that moolah? That's the one I see before then, Ace. If I missed one, send it back in. Unfortunately, the game economy is starting to mirror the current bifurcated economy, with strong emphasis on catering to a small percentage who are making and spending the most. It never works. We are certainly seeing a greater divide between the haves and the have-nots, both in-game and societally. I agree with that. This is problematic. And not unexpected, but that's probably for a tinfoil hat stream at a later time. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there it is.
Serpent.
Holy smokes, we're gonna catch up on the chat. Serpent cooked, boys?
Serpent! I should have just picked Serpent like I was going to.
Tobias J.
Tobias is the man.
I mean, you just crushed my whole thing here. Like, I figured that no one would win, so here we go. We have found that one champion can indeed kill everything in Realm of Legends. Cheers, brother. Cheers.
It happens to be the most balanced champion in MCLC. Wow.
It happens to be the most balanced champion in the game.
Imagine that. Huh.
Imagine. Holy smokes. Imagine this all those years ago, by the way. A one champion Realm of Legends clear on auto fight.
Yeah.
Oh
Who came out as a defender? Who came out as a defender?
Who came out as a defender?
That's why he should be ranked 4, right there.
That is
Luke.
funny.
Okay, we're to Luke. We're catching up to the last chunk of chats here, then we'll keep moving. My only concern with boycotting or voicing our outrage is this. What does everyone want? Looking at this like a hostage situation, what are your demands? Otherwise, people won't be happy regardless. That's a great question, Luke. Let me finish the rest of chat, and I think that's where we'll pick up next.
Not thinking enough right here. Not thinking.
Because it's Nefaria, in all seriousness, I do hope that Bastion didn't sell well. I agree with that, Kurt. Tobias nailed it. Yeah, he crushed it, bro. I think it's our perpetual curse as consumers, as we often grossly underestimate how much influence our decisions and our dollars actually have. I hope this community stays committed to this boycott. Some mail. Amen, brother. Serpent OP for real. If I spend on new champs, they could be awesome. I don't trust Kabam to pull a not as intended nerf card. Champ sucks. Get a buff. Go in effect for several months. All true.
Welcome to
Trust
the
is
hamster
that's a
wheel.
good point, right? Trust is one of those pillars, and trust is one of those one of the places that something is lacking significantly right now. Let's not forget spring cleaning is upon us. I just get up 500 USD for 350 Amazon sale. Yeah, no, they're all doing that thing. They're all doing that thing. Okay, so let's get back to Luke's question. Looking at this like a hostage situation, what are your demands? Otherwise, people won't be happy regardless. That was where I came to earlier, where everyone can voice, vocalize, and boycott to whatever extent, dependent on what they are looking for. And whether or not their specific thing gets rectified you know, then they can decide if they are or not going to participate, right? That's what we're talking about here. I look at it more like this. Here's what I want to see. Because what I want to see is not, it's not a specific thing. It's not a specific in a sense of, I want these rewards buffed. I want this rewards rotation. I want this, you know, the game cut down. I want this. My desire for this outcome is not that. My desire for this outcome is that Kabam engages with us as a community like you would more in a relationship, and that they enlist us to help us help them so they can be better and we can provide a better, more sustainable game for the future. That's what I hope comes out of this. I hope they go back and read their post and they listen to the feedback they get about how much of the stuff on that post is their fault, that people in this community have tried to raise the flag on almost as soon as they've seen it. And we're talking about in essence of multiple years. Okay? If Kabam had listened to the feedback they got from their own content creators, some of the fixes that they're talking about doing now would have been done a year and a half ago. Okay? KT, I talked about this on the last stream. He made streams about the game being too big a year and a half ago. He made videos about it. Why don't you listen to the people who play the game? Why don't you listen to who we have to who plays the game? Okay, why would you get yourself? I want to be in a future where Kabam not only isn't in a position to have to go, oh gosh, guys, hey, don't worry, we're gonna address this. We see you guys pissed off, we're gonna address rewards. Then doesn't in their next post, then has to respond to a boycott, then has to go through all this trouble and headache to get things fixed, when they could have just had a conversation with the CCP, with the community, where they have people who have vested care and interest, both monetary, emotional, etc., in the success of this game, and want you to be successful. Why will you not listen to them? I want you to listen to them. That's what I want out of this. I want there to be progress from this moment forward. That they learn from their mistakes and stop down this path. This path is not a good path. You will not like the end of this path. There's a reason I chose the thumbnail I did today, and it was because of the stuff JWill was talking about a year and a half ago, because of the stuff we've seen in all these videos of them not listening to people for years now. This destiny, this conversation today was inevitable. It was always going to happen because they never stopped off the path. I want them to get off this path. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm even entertaining this idea. It's why we're even having this conversation. Is so that my hope, my desire, that there's meaningful overarching progress in the attitude and teamwork mentality that Kabam has with the community. Because if they do that, the rewards will take care of themselves. The game modes will take care of themselves. What doesn't get balanced. What doesn't get... All of that will take care of itself if we have a healthy relationship between game and community. So that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. I think other people have their own reasons. I applaud everyone for whatever their reasons are. I just have my view of it. I want to solve the underlying problem, which is that this relationship's not in a good spot. It's not. Okay, you get to boycotts with some of your most trusted people. I mean, I love Vega. Seriously, he's been a nice guy every time I've talked to him. He has been, almost to a frustrating extent, a Kabam supporter for as long as I've been watching him. There are times I've watched him and gotten frustrated that he won't necessarily call things the way I would agree with. And that's my own opinion. But I still respect him for his. When you get him to this point, it should tell you something. It should tell you something. I'm sure everyone can agree with this experience. Everyone's been in the car with a girlfriend who's hungry. Doesn't know she wants to eat, but just knows she's hungry. That's my fear with this. That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I just choose for you.
But
But I
That's
get
fair, right?
what you're saying. Yeah, I do.
Right?
Indecisiveness is not my thing. So if you
Let's
don't want
go.
to decide, I'll decide for you. But I get it. I understand the analogy. And huge shout out to you, Truth. It's inevitable. While Thanos is fighting, nothing spoken more truer than a dad. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
keep cooking, brother.
No, I feel you. You know, we're just in the next iteration of where your state of the game video was 2 weeks ago, right? Which your state of the game video was the inevitable outcome of the concerns that you were vocalizing the year and a half before, talking to Ghost Dog and Simula and Dragon and trying to, engage in let's go beyond kind of our biased scopes of how we want this to be and let's look at it more realistically. And lo and behold, we wind up in this like, holy crap, everything's been monetized to the gills all day, every day of the week, right?
Yeah, I think for me personally, since Luke brought it up, for me personally, I want to see a significant tone down on monetization moving forward. I want to see more of the investment money being put into what everyone's investing in. I want to also see that the deals that they do come out with are more well-rounded for everybody at a lower cost. I thought back in the day when they did the little $500-600 or whatever, the two times a year, I thought that was sufficient. And I'm not saying they have to completely revert to that, but I would like to see some sort of a reversion significantly. Honestly, that's kind of where my head's at.
Yeah. I like that. That's where JWill's at. He's hungry. That's what he's looking for.
And to be clear, guys, I try to stay as humble as I can. And I do say it all the time on various things that I purchase. I can get these things, but this is not about me. This is about everyone, because I'm pro player and I'm not ashamed of that. So I consider everyone. Not everyone is in a position to do all this ridiculousness. So that's why I'm a huge advocate for them to revert this crap. That's why I tried to stop it before it got started. But
yeah.
well, we saw how well that worked out, right? So there you go.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's catch up in the chat. Okay, we're back to Tobias. They really do need to be more clear with us and stop ignoring us. The past 2 months in live streams, one of the most posted comments was 9.2. They've yet to mention 9.2. They just look over, right? I see in here before in other streams, you've been on Truth voice call. Are you talking about JWill, Andy? Or are you talking about me being elsewhere? We've been around. JJ. Oh, you talking about JJ? Yeah, that's him. Bam can never accept that anything is their fault. They almost kind of admitted fault to one thing in the last post, but yeah, there is some of that really drives me nuts, really grinds my gears. The numbers say one thing, but people who have given various different solutions to issues, Kabam, it's that they will try and recycle someone else's ideas months or years later to the game. Yeah, like a scoring change. So, to what I was saying about communicating, in the future, what I would like to see is when you think that you should change the thing upon which everything of a game mode is built, scoring, that you talk to your content creator program and ask them, hey, do you think this is a good idea and how do you believe it will be received? That's probably where would be a better place to be in this relationship, yeah? Tell me that doesn't go so much easier if we have, hey, I'm opening a poll in, I'm not in the CCP. I'm sure there's some CCP chats somewhere. Here's the poll. Here's what we're thinking about doing. Vote yes or no. Apply a little comment here to what you think. Let's spend 2 hours seeing if this is a good idea. Or should I just make a change on a whim and send a community into panic after they've ranked 4 champions based on a scoring system that we're threatening to change? Really? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. From experience, I can't really say exactly how things are because I don't know if I can, but
Yeah.
I can say that's something that everyone is aware of. So a little while ago, they invited various CCP members to Vancouver so they can have some discussions and show them some upcoming things. So there was a sense of that in that sense, but it wasn't included with everybody in the CCP. Obviously, it was more so selective. I call those like good old boy type systems. It's no slight or shade at anybody. That's just how I perceive it to be. That's not saying that is what it is, but that's generally how I associate those type of things. So that left a bad taste in a lot of different CCP members' mouths, and they talked about those extensively. I don't care one way or the other.
I should have linked Max's video because I did watch his, and he was one who mentioned that specifically.
Yeah, but you know, and I get it, and I agree to a certain extent. Like, if you're going to be a part of something exclusive, it should be extended to everyone in said party. But hey, I'm just a guy. So there has been something that has went like that. But as far as like day to day, as far as I'm aware, it's not, that doesn't occur like that. It's not, hey, it's more like, hey, we got this person coming out, go test out this champion, let us know your thoughts on the champion. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people like will just have conversations, right? But it's more like that. It's more like a Discord, you know, like, hey, you know, people are talking and it may or may not be on topic, or it may or may not be of value. It's just kind of people are having conversations, getting to know people, and there you go. Other than that, hey, here's a champion coming out. What do you think? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well, appreciate that insight. And you know, I have thought about what you brought up before, because JWill, for those who don't know, you know, we do have conversations beyond just the stream, of course. And he has encouraged me to apply for the content creator program, and I've heavily considered it. And so I appreciate that insight for sure from your perspective, and letting us know what you can as far as what that looks like. And as far as CCP goes, we'll address that in the summary, because I have some thoughts. Okay, let's finish catching up in the chat and let's shift some gears. My fear is nothing changes, blinders on, pretends everything is fine with the game. You'll enjoy the game as intended. That doesn't end well for anyone. I agree. I think enough of a flag has been raised that there's at least a roadblock to that. But, you know, we'll see. We can't make them do things. Oof, Deathless Thanos is dead. Does anyone want to take a swing at Tobias? Okay, right now we've only got one standalone champ, Tobias, big winner of the day. He selected Serpent, who cleared the map. Does anyone want to try and select a champ that they think can do that as well? Let me know. Post it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep going. Luke, I see you on the logical explanation. I appreciate that. I'm a practical person. One of the things my previous boss gave me a review, and one of the things he said once was that I was skilled at bringing the theoretical to reality. Right, because I used to work with a lot of engineers and stuff, and when you work with like these really deep thinkers who are kind of on the edges of technology and thought processes and stuff, you get into like really kind of theoretical, weird spatial realms. And so one of the things I learned to do through working with these people and trying to, you know, make progress was, how do we bring this to something that can actually be practical in reality, right? It's great to design a system this way, But if you and 5 people can use it and I can't have these other 70 people use it, then it does me no good. And so that's where I'm at. I'm trying to just, let's take all this stuff out of theory and let's take all this stuff out of feelings and let's get it into this place of practicality that we can actually move forward and make progress to avoid this from happening again. Because kabam and all, this isn't the first time, and I know it, and you know it, and we know it, but it can be the last time. It can be. This can be the last time we have this kind of uprising in this community. It's in your hands to make it that way, though. Thank you, Radical. I appreciate you like that AW video. By the way, guys, if you haven't gone and liked the Alliance War video, my last video I posted, we're up to 14. Listen, you guys want voiceover, but we're only at 14 likes. I need to see 20 because, it takes a lot of time. People don't recognize how long it takes to like sit and do voiceover on videos. So, if I'm gonna spend a few hours doing that, you gotta give me some likes, baby. Let's get it pushed out there.
Guys, give that man some likes. I know what it's like to be in his shoes. I promise.
He does. JWill does those loving war videos. We love him, and I appreciate him. But yeah, I wanted to put the gameplay out for people to see. So when someone goes, hey, how do I take this fight? They go in, they go MCOC node X or this person versus this person. Hopefully they get my video pulled up and it gives them, it's like a database, right? A bank of information to say, oh, this is what it looks like when someone takes that fight. Then they can leave me a comment. I can answer about what will and won't work. So, okay, let's see if someone put someone in. If I go back to okay, we got a good list now. We got a good list. Okay, so we'll start with Arun. He says Domino, and then we'll go from Zemo and go from there. And so I'll get the list filled back in while Domino's going and while we're yapping. Domino's a good choice.
Heard say group.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Skier says, thank you. I know Vegas says he's for players, but there sure are times he's way too pro-Kabam, even though the community is screaming to the contrary. Yeah, it's true. But again, I love Vega. I think he's pretty well balanced. It's funny. People would probably argue with me about this, but if we were to put like the pro-anti, like kind of where things fall on the bell curve, right? Which for my statistics people, if you know, you feel me. I feel like Vega would be on this positive standard deviation of Kabam attitude and how he presents things. And like people have the view of KT being over here just on the negative side. They're like a mirror image of like what the average Kabam homer would look like or whatever the average is. Like I feel like Vega's a little positive. I feel like KT's a little negative, but I think both of them give great reasoning and logic and do great content on why they're thinking what they're thinking. And I think they're absolutely worth paying attention to in this community. Okay, Jay, I'm going to be honest. We have a big string of people in here saying that they are not going to tone down monetization. We got AFO, Ace, Radical, AFO doubling back again. The people don't see it.
I mean, I'm just a guy, and I was just sharing my thoughts on what I personally would like to see.
Wise man
I
said,
think
we'll see.
I think a lot of people would share that same sentiment, to be honest. You can't control what a company actually puts out. You just can control whether you buy into it or not, pun intended. Haha. Hey, I still got it. So, I'm just saying, if you guys are going to talk with your wallets just as much as everyone else. So an example of that was Relics. It never got off the ground really, which is why they discontinued it for the longest, because nobody was buying it. They put them out, don't worry. They put them out every opportunity they got, and no one really cared, right?
Bro,
right?
from the beginning,
I'm just saying,
from the very beginning, go watch the first videos. No one cared.
No one cared.
No.
And to throw salt onto the wound, if you guys remember, initially we were being sold one or the other. Just saying.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's true.
And then they doubled down. So to me, I have no sympathy for them on that regards. But you can apply that to any offer that they send our way, right?
Yeah.
Just if you look at it along those lines, then there you go. You don't have to pick it up. I mean, people's competitive nature is always going to be there in this game, but it's starting to become overshadowed by just who cares, why,
Yeah.
what, for what.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
No, that's
the
real. That is,
more,
I think,
the more
that's
that
most
goes
of the
up,
competitive community right now in BGs anyway.
yeah, and the more that goes up, the less willing we're going to be to stay competitive, because who
Yep.
cares?
Yep.
So there you go.
That it's not quite time for that, but I think the will to be competitive when we come back around to that, it's going to be a great transition into the summary, where we go from here. But before we get there, we got to catch up on chat. We got a couple more points I want to talk about for sure. Okay, Doug says novel concept, best reward should come for playing the game. Totally agree, by the way. How about this? During 2 sales, the most units you can spend on unit offers like 15, now it's 30, 35. Yep. Yeah, Nugs is basically just acknowledging, he's putting some math from a free-to-play perspective to what JWill's talking about, which is the expansion of the number of sales and how regular this is becoming, for sure. For me, it's about them continually building without the maintenance and, more importantly, innovation. Stop with all the new champs, currency, rehashed content, instead fix the game. Couldn't agree more, Luke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally agree. In my notes, one of the things that I wrote some questions. Like I said, I have some questions that, you know, are going to live past this. But to that, this radiance, right? This, we're going to figure out this way to balance rewards across the game. And by the way, again, and this was acknowledged by the other content creators, so again, go watch them for like the succinct breakdowns. But you're telling me the game's too big, and you're telling me you can't make it all valuable and work, but you're telling me you want to create a new currency, because that's going to work. Ay caramba, man. But okay. Let's theorize that this thing can actually work. The question that I had was, where have we seen this successfully done before? Do we have an example where we've seen a successful implementation of this type of system? And if so, is that the roadmap you're following? That's what I'd like to know, right? These are questions that I ask if I was in the boardroom. Okay. Hey, we want to do this thing. Great. Do we actually have examples of that working? Do we have a template that we can follow? How can we make sure that this is going to be successful and minimize failure? Because right now, I got 7 failed currencies sitting in my box in a game that's too big. You're telling me it's too big. So you want to create another one. You want to create another game mode. These things conflict, right? We have some confliction, some conflictification going on in what's going on. So we'll see, Luke. Oh, you're good. Kurd, we'll be chilling. What up, Hinatch? Good to see you. Hey, good to see you. Cheers. Clearing July 4 stores used to cost $195. Now it's $800. I'd like to revert something reasonable, but they'll never do it. Unfortunate reality is I agree with a lot of the big sale stuff, right? It's Pandora's box. They are Bruce from Finding Nemo. Okay, right? They've got the smell of blood and they're just, you know, they've gone black-eyed and they see green dollar signs in their eyeballs and they're gonna go chase it down. So, oh no. Kurd got deleted. Jock, what are you doing? Jock Payne. Love you, brother. But I think we're in Jock's pocket.
We might be.
We're gonna unhide Kurd, bring him back to the land of the living. I'm sorry, Kurd. I'm sorry, Kurd.
He might be busy. He might be like, listening.
Let's catch back up. Luke Perry. Oh, what up, Sadar? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Not easy to get catalysts in game. You love some champs, but you can't rank them. Even if I finished almost all content, this is annoying. Now, there has to be some limits to what you can rank, right? You got to make sure you pick and choose what you rank up, but yeah, that's fair. I know how that can go. This is the yapping list of questions. I will get you guys worked up. What's up, Flibble? Good to see you. Samail or Red Skull or Photon. I like that, Samail. We'll catch that back up. We got a good list there. That'll definitely get us to the end of this stream. That is called a system design question. I like that. Afo did voiceover. Get out of here, bro. He's over here giving me a hard time about his one war video. He did. He went like this. He's like, oh, we're going to break down my alliance war fights here in this war that we've got. we have a nice 3-fight war, and you're gonna notice I'm gonna go into this fight. I definitely want to be well boosted, and we, need to make sure we take a good approach to this fight. Make sure we have a good
You're
understanding.
being a little louder than he was.
That's fair. That's fair. It's so hard to go so low. So low.
Afro knows I love him too, but he was very quiet. He was very quiet.
Here, Zemo, I'm gonna task you. I'm gonna post this. You wanna get them likes up, bro? There you go. There's the Alliance War video. You guys get us to 20 likes, you get voiceover. And I might even throw in an AFO fight or two. Okay, I'll give you that. As people would say when he and I would be in stream and we'd kind of get into this mode right here. We sound like golf announcers. You know what I mean? We might do that. We can't have the measuring stick of difficulty as MSD or Sim. I love them both, but they're the exception, not the rule. Couldn't agree more. You put that back in the box. What you can do with monetization is slow it down, but scaling it back to what it was before isn't feasible. To be honest, a lot of the monetizing is what we asked for. I think to some extent, Luke, but I think it's grown beyond control. I think it's okay. Not all things will get that demanding and famous. Like not all videos get views. Some videos get way less when you expect to get more. That's true, Arun. That's why, that's why I keep doing it, bro. I've been doing this for like almost 2 years, a year and a half at least, and I have like 700 subs. I get like, I'm averaging a sub a day or something like that. So we just keep grinding, bro. Eventually I'll hit, right? Eventually either my handsome face or my undeniable charm or my quick wit will get me more subscribers, right?
Absolutely will. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Would I like to see less monetization? Yes, but to KT1's point, Kabam drafted the originators who first boycotted and made them CCP members, so they can't tell the community not to say no. That's not true. They can definitely give the community some decent advice. Thanos made it to Vision, which was longer than Domino made it. That's for sure. The next one we had in, I believe, was Sinister. And he made it to, or she made it to Rhino. Okay, let's put Sinister in. See how he does. He may low-key be a good decision. All right, we pop him back in. For the Sinister run, let's go. This is our 6th run. So far, so good. We should be asked to buy champs instead of arena grinding. We should be able to buy champs. Yeah, I agree. Now we can buy 7 stars. Asking them to create a 7-star arena is a backwards from a business model. That's true, but they also need to deal with the free-to-play. They need to give free-to-play a path for that stuff, so.
I agree.
Totally invested how far these champs are going. Anthem, I love you so much. W Alliance member, bro. W Alliance mate. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. Courage is good to go. Podcast title, Kabam and its drama. Yeah, I like that. We could do that. We could do a Q&A for sure. Yeah, AFO, definitely golf announcing for sure. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. You gotta smash that like button. My church just went on YouTube recently for the first week here in the last couple weeks, and I do the announcements on Sunday. And so I had to go into YouTube voice and go, so if everyone wants to go in and subscribe and smash that like button, let's go. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I try to bring a little bit of, a little bit of fun to the announcement booth there. Really, it's from the pulpit, but no golf and answers. Smooth jazz radio DJ. Hey, fair enough, Radical. I could do that. I could definitely do that. Oh, you're good, Jacques. It's good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
What's up, Jack?
I don't mind if the content's hard. It's fine with me. I like a challenge, but what I don't mind is content being BS. That's different. I think they've gotten better with the content being mainly challenging and not BS. I will say that in the Nightmare flops, I found the fights to be way too long. I mean, way too long from in terms of what to read. But again, if you were listening to your community, Kabam, you would have worked through this, because we keep saying, bro, we don't want to have a PhD and read a manuscript like this long of text to be able to know and try to interpret what's going on. Bro, it's wild and crazy. But that stuff aside, fine. The APOC fight is one of the most trash fights in this game by a large margin. It
I
is
spent all my
garbage.
revives on it, and I barely
It's
did
garbage.
anything. I barely did anything, and I spent all my revives on there.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And on the
Well, I
Nightmare
have brought
Floss,
in.
there's one other thing that makes me really upset. Not really upset, I shouldn't say, but we talked about this before they came out. But now in light of the fact that they're here and what they look like, it makes that drop to the 1 revived cap seem that much more scummy
Yep.
at this point in time.
Monetization.
Yeah, but spend 200 units on a revive.
Hey,
Get out of my face, bro.
You could do that in unlimited amount of times, good sir. You could.
Radical had it on point. What did he say? Yeah, no, I got you guys. I got you. We can do that, bro. We'll get in the mood. Bro, it's lo-fi beats. You put me in lo-fi beats, I think that's the only way I gotta be. Yo, what up, Ace? Oh, we're yapping. We yapped through... I think we're about past hyper monetization. We've talked through a lot of that stuff. We got auto fighting going on, so we got a long list of champs that people want to auto fight with that I still need to write down. I want to talk about 2 things that I think tie together, both of which, one upsets me and one I question. As a person who lived in micro measurement, as a person who's been trained in 8 discipline problem solving, as a person who's been trained in statistical process control, I want to talk about BGs as a niche game mode and data. I want to talk about Kabam and data. I want to talk about how this ties to trust for me, because I have very little trust in Kabam for a lot of things with good reason. But I want to just bring up the fact that we keep throwing around data. And I have serious questions and doubts about their capability in terms of what data they actually have, how well they know to interpret that data, what underlying biases they're not accounting for in that data, what error is in that data, and what information they're actually pulling out of it. Because data is data, and it's intended, if you know what you're measuring or what you're looking at, to provide you some subset of information, right? They're 2 different things. Information is like a synthesized, applicable form of data. I have serious questions and doubts when one of the reasons that I get thrown at for BGs being a niche game mode, which I agree with from a numbers standpoint, but I don't agree with at all from a practical standpoint. What data are you willing to share with us? What data are you actually looking at? What data can actually be shared with this community? And can you please explain to me why, in the great land of all the bugs and all the failures, why I should trust your data analysis? Should I? If someone that worked for me had your success rate, I would not trust their data analysis. Every single time they brought me here's what this shows, I would ask them for their source data. Every single time. So to get us here and have the back of data and say, based on this, I have some data to show that even when we increase BG rewards, retention goes down. Are you kidding me? I'm supposed to believe that? This BG is a niche game mode, and this throwing about of data struck me to the core of my heart and soul, because it's flipping what I did like for 10 years. It's what I did. Statistical process control and data analysis. And now we're here, and I got someone preaching from the pulpit of data. And I don't get the warm and fuzzies that you know what you're talking about.
Dang. Well,
That's it. That's where I'm at on niche game mode and data, JWill. Did you have any thoughts on that yourself?
okay, so I did ask if I could get data, and I was told no. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to share that, and I think there's reasons behind that, right?
Yeah, just what will you share? I mean, that's more where I'm at. What are you willing to share with us?
Yeah, I think when it comes to corporations and business, businesses and things of that nature, I am very hesitant to place my trust because I know the motive and I know the driving factor, right? And then to expand on that just a little bit, sometimes you get acquainted with some of the people and maybe their morals don't exactly align with yours for various reasons, right? And those are the some of the people that are a part of this engine, right? So then that further skews my judgment, maybe, right? And I'm just trying to be polite about it. So as far as the trust factor, with me, I'm very skeptical when it comes to taking things at face value. Okay. Because I try to think for myself. I try to say, okay, well, if this is this, but you're saying this equals this, how come my math is not equaling your math, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I take a lot of things with a grain of salt, and I just kind of decide if I'm going to deal with that or if I'm not. And that's just how I've been playing this game for years at this point, because truth, when you know what you know, it's at that point where you decide,
Yeah, it's a little bit of a gift and a curse, isn't it?
Yeah,
a little bit of a gift and a curse.
And that's just kind of where I'm at with it personally, and or how I've been with it for quite some time.
That's fair. I think it's a fair stance to take. I think you've been in the CCP, been closer to it. I feel some of it, for sure. But I think this is something that needs to be addressed if we're going to move forward. Right, this comes back to when Luke was asking me what am I looking for. Part of a healthy relationship is communication. Part of good communication, some of that includes facts and figures. Look, the established community wants you to bring in new players. We want new players to come in. We want the game to continue to grow. We want you guys to make money, to reinvest in the game, not necessarily for your side ventures, but I digress. Okay? I digress. We want you to do well. We want those things to happen. There should be some data points that you can share with us that can help us see the health of the organization in a meaningful way, but could also be shared with us. And so again, it provides us clarity on how to help you. Help us help you. Help us help you, Kadan. Help us help you. We want to help you. So, I don't know. I live in a world now where so much, people, as I was saying, preaching from the pulpit of data, people preach at me from the pulpit of science and declare very clearly, this thing is science, when it is at best like an exaggerated scientific interpretation. And so when someone gets at me about data and starts telling me how kind of wrong I am, give me the data. Let's look at it, because if I'm wrong, no problem, man. You're right. But I'm willing to bet that when we vet that data out, we're gonna have some questions. Like Ace said, I said in Abdo's stream, the problem with data is it doesn't show facts, it shows statistics, which can easily show whatever you want it to show. So true. Well, welcome back, Frodo, by the way, I see you there. Yeah, so if you go back, I'll keep off the tinfoil hat podcast here, but I've seen certain people who like to present themselves as a part of that, you know, group of scientists, etc., and tell you what's real and what's not, giving their news interviews with a book in the background called How to Lie Using Statistics. Okay, this is a relatively famous book. You can get your hands on it. Absolutely true. Okay, you can skew data and statistics as much as you want. Another guy, I used to study some of his work, he said if you torture the data long enough, it'll confess to anything. You can, depending on where you're drawing lines, how you're measuring, how you scale, how you present, you can legitimately almost make any piece of data acceptable and like make it to say what you want. And there's all sorts of connotations that come with that because, you know, me being a biblical Christian, I've watched people utilize scripture for justifying things that scripture absolutely does not justify. But, you know, you torture it long enough, it'll do the thing, right? You can twist all sorts of things into saying many things. And that's what I feel like I'm dealing with here. When you give me in fact, I found some data to suggest that when we increase these rewards, retention rates drop. My counter would be, maybe because you don't make it an accessible enough game mode. To many of the other content creators who said, hey, you have a game mode with nearly limitless potential, you have all this opportunity, but you have to be able to create a space where accounts that aren't giant can play. And right now it doesn't exist. Right now there's no way for someone who picks this game up today to really get into Battlegrounds for like 9 to 12 months. They're gonna be frustrated. They're gonna be miserable because they're gonna be hitting a buzzsaw every day. And I know that I show some fun with it, right? I make these small decks to have some fun with BGs because where I finish doesn't matter. And to show people that sometimes we overrate the deck size a little bit, okay? I've heard that it's not just the size of the deck, but how you use it. Now, maybe that's just me coping, okay? But there's definitely some truth that you don't have to have the biggest deck in the world. Speaking of, I know I'm behind in chat because it looks like the world's biggest deck has made his way here. What's up, Yusafa? Good to see you. And Jay, perhaps. I like that. We don't know if it's JWill or JWon't. I lost my train of thought. We're back in here. We're back in here. I made a statement in AOH chat that I was just going to be making a C4 push. A lot of people agreed I should just spend $50. No, it's true. Not for a legit C4 push. You're only doing it for the prestige. That's fair. What up, Matt? Good to see you. You should talk about the part of the post where he says that better rewards mean people play less. Oh, we just did. Yeah, we good. We're good, Kaus. Yeah, that's wild stuff. AW is all I care about now, and it's sad because it's fun correction. It could be fun. Could be fun. I trust Kabam less than a Taco Bell fart. Is BG's niche? Yes. To me, it's about the causation. It's niche because people don't like to play it as is. BG's is demoralizing to a majority of the community because they aren't good enough to play. Yeah, Luke, and it's not even necessarily good enough. It's about being around relatively equitable competition, right? It's about, you know, again, if I could go fire up my tiny deck and I can go, you know, put some 5 stars, some 6 stars, scrape it together, I go into the same place that has JWill. Him and his 50, how many rank 3s, JWill? Oh, he might be away from his phone. 50 something rank 3s. You know, those two, I think Empy and Lags both had great feedback on how to restructure matchmaking and tier systems in BGs to make it a more approachable game mode that expands to more of the community. Now, one other thing on this niche thing though, is again, in number, it may be niche. But one of the things we said on this stream, I saw on other streams, etc., and it needs to be acknowledged because it is true, is right now, BGs and BG streams are the face of this game. Change my mind. I'm gonna make that statement. I'm gonna go back and work the chat. BGs and BG streams are the face of this game 90% of the time plus. Okay. Do we expect a live stream next Friday? No idea, Tobias. That math ain't mathin'. I think we need to address the competitive spirit of the community. We have a lot of players who love to play the game, but quite simply don't want to compete. That's true. I think the lower version modes will help that, right? Where you get some more chance to go play around with smaller decks and stuff. I think that'll be cool. What up, Yusafa? Good to see you, brother. So good. What up, Ghost Dog? Yo, let's go. GD, man, along with JWill, one of those guys who are just always have a place in my heart. They come from the beginning. If it wasn't for Ghost Dog, JWill, and KT1, I would not be here today. I can definitively say that. I'll boycott if GD boycotts. Oh, Yusafa's boycotting, bro. Let's go. GD originated the boycott. He was done. I'll boycott if Truth does a no shirt stream. How dare you, Samael? I don't see BGs as niche. I just think the majority of players in MCOC are free to play or low spenders, and that's punished. Yep. Exactly. That's exactly where I was coming at it from, Frodo. Get online. You can tell any story you want with data. Exactly, Noodle. Exactly. Namor's regen OP. Oh, you're talking about Sinister here? Yeah, he's on full regen mode right now. Rajat, one of my own sayings, using data has a CNC policy. It can be used to convince or confuse anyone with anything. Very well said, Rajat. Very well said. Cheers. Cheers. As someone who has done both sides of that, by the way, not proud of it, but as someone who's done both sides of that, 100% agreed. BDE, that's right, Yusafa. That's right, Yusafa. He legitimately has biggest deck energy. Yeah, it's crazy. As a Hobbit, without a doubt, I can say the deck size does not... Oh, excuse me. As a Hobbit, I can say without a doubt, the deck size does not matter. Sounds good, Jay. Battlegrounds is a niche game mode because it's an end game mode and structure like that rewards rosters, and yes, they can try to fix matchmaking. I was also around from near the beginning. That's true, Afo. That's true. That's true. Those guys, it was kind of a different, it's in a different role is more what I was getting at. Because like KT, I did some of his BG coaching stuff, and he talked me through like high-level alliances, so I appreciate that. Sinister not making it through Wolverine, you say? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so that's where I fall in the niche game mode stuff. None of you tried to change my mind, by the way. I understand that from the competitive side, not everyone's competitive, right? In the competitive spirit of the game. But that, listen, something can be niche and also exceedingly important. Something can be niche and be exceedingly valuable. Something can be niche and be a cornerstone that can lead to success or failure. Let me throw an example out. Let me just think of something, okay, off the cuff, because I didn't think about this much. For football fans, what about the long snapper and the placeholder? How many of you football fans have had a team that had a bad long snapper? Long snapper, exceedingly niche, right? A few plays a game, pretty unassuming role. What do? You get out there and you snap that ball however many yards you need to in a spiral, so whoever needs to receive that ball can take it and get what they need to get done with it. And what happens if you have a bad long snapper? How many games have been lost by the punt too high? How many games have been lost by the field goal too low? How many of these things have not come to fruition or success because the small niche thing that was so much more valuable than you ever gave it credit for was ignored? It wasn't treated with its appropriate focus and love, like this should be. BGs may be niche because it really points to the competitive spirit of a specific type and group of players. But it doesn't mean it's unimportant, and it doesn't mean it shouldn't get focused. And it is 90% of what the content is that goes out from a streaming standpoint. When people are engaging with your game on a daily basis, one of the primary places they're engaging with it is BGs. There are probably somewhere, there's probably a 1,000 people at least that are just bouncing through BG streams on a given day. This may not directly lead to some data set. Okay, this may not directly lead to some, oh, look at this thing. But the marketing value, okay, the overall value of this thing through time shouldn't be dismissed. It is absolutely attracting people. It's absolutely pushing people away. Okay? Yeah, exactly. They see the numbers, not the actual value. I'm not trying to change your mind. We're having a discussion with different opinions. That's the beauty of discussion. Oh, that's for sure. For sure. You just go for 2 every time. Yeah, if you don't have a good long snapper, especially. I thought Sinister could lose here, but the regen's too OP. Yeah, it's wild. Love the football part of this. All the positions have a role exactly like each part of the game has a role. Exactly. Exactly. It's a comprehensive experience, right? It's all packaged together. It all needs to work together. And a part that's getting lost in this is the importance of this explicit game mode. And there may be people at Kabam, the people who work in Kabam, that don't hold the same opinion. And I respect that, absolutely. Because we need people who care about the other core components of the game just as much as BGs. But don't let the numbers fool you. That's really what I'm trying to say. Do not let the numbers fool you, Kabam. BGs is very important to this game, okay? I know of no less than 100 to 200 people off the cuff. We could go down the list that likely would not be playing this game today if BGs did not exist. And that's just, we're talking about people I know, okay? There's some set of percentage of people who play this game that BGs breathe life into and can continue to breathe life into. I may not necessarily agree with Lags that there's limitless potential with BGs, but he may not be wrong. There is so much opportunity to work with your community, to engage us, and to make this game mode something that appeals beyond just the highest end of competition, to where people, to what Nugs is talking about, where people who aren't necessarily super competitive or don't have the capability to pay and go big decking around like Yusafa, to go compete and have fun in these game modes and actually enjoy it. Actually enjoy it. When properly motivated, when properly incentivized, when you've listened to the community and applied our feedback. I'm just happy that because of the stupid mobile game, I got to meet Nitro today. Hey, cheers to that. Same, I met Afo. You guys, we saw the meetup, right? I got to go meet Rizzo and Dread. We're all talking and communicating. I've been enjoying, talking to Yusafa more. JWill, if it wasn't for this game, we wouldn't be engaging like we do. And it's the community that's been keeping us around, so many of us. So while we're being kept around, listen to us so we can help you make a better game so it can last longer, and we all get to keep hanging out with our friends, right? I get to go be a grown-ass man who goes and tells my wife, hey, sweetheart, I love you. Can I go play with my friends tonight? I'm gonna go have a stream, and tonight I'm gonna be fired up. Okay, I can't eat dinner before because I'll be too weighed down, and I got too much passion in my passion bucket. And I need to go express it with my friends. Why? Because I care. Dang it. I want it to do well. And I'm upset that it's not doing well. And I'm upset that you're trying to blame me that's not doing well. Okay, I do have a question about the marketing standpoint of BG streams. Like Herd points out, I'm not overly familiar with YouTube algorithms and so forth, and so forgive me if this sounds ignorant. Okay, I'll catch back up. Natch, nothing matters. Ranks have a 1-year life cycle and always resets. 50 sales events are 2, it's the same experience. It's not worth trying to keep up anymore, or maybe we're just old and tired. I think I can feel that. There's a balance. You have to want to compete. If you don't want to compete, then just enjoy the rest of the game. I'm like the hot cheerleader on the sidelines. Yusafa, you're like the hot cheerleader who puts on pads and goes and plays the game because you are the most handsome BG's player. So you're actually in the game, bro. As niche as it may be, I would have left the game 2 years ago if it weren't for BG tournaments. That's what I'm saying. Yes, Tobias. Yes, you feel me. Me too. Because at that decision point, when I started talking to KT, before I got into Ghost Dogs tournament, before I learned, met JWill, and while I was listening to you know, all the various, you know, streams and stuff. I wasn't sure if I was gonna keep playing this game. And BG's 100% revitalized it. I said, this mode is epic. This mode's fantastic. It's so what we should have seen. And, you know, yeah, Ghost Dog, nail on the head. Sadly, they usually only patch, update a mode at a time, but it's the wrong mentality. Absolutely agree. And we're down. Listen, we aren't as unreasonable as you think we are. Okay, I know some are. You can effectively ignore the group that's always going to complain. You saw it from Ace earlier. We're down with you not giving us champs for 6 months. Take a break. Reuse your resources. Stop wasting resources, but reappropriate your resources. Trim the game down. Streamline it. Fix it. And let's go, baby. We're go. Listen, you guys did maintenance, and we said, woo! Thank God they're doing maintenance. Maybe the game will work better. Shut the thing down for a week. Shut the game down for a week. Fix it. Do what needs to be done. Okay. But from what I've seen as someone who follows mostly every mainstream BG streamer, almost everyone in their chats are someone who have a well-established place in the YT community. That's true. I rarely come across a name in one streamer's chat that's not present, at least in a few others. That's true. So how much marketing is it actually doing for people who are already established as community members? So Mail, as much as that's true, we're talking about, I think, some of the smaller streamers. I think as these things grow, right? In our groups, it's a lot of the same people who are supporting one another. And I love you guys and I appreciate the support. I can't wait to get that first YouTube check and reinvest some money into this channel. I'm very much looking forward to that. But, that's like, it's like this rolling snowball, right? Because right now we got 40 people here. Okay, when I was early rolling, it was 2, 5, 10. Okay, when the big ballers play and are interested, when Andy streams, when Lags streams, when, you know, when BG was around and streamed, when those 30K plus people are streaming, it expands beyond the same group of people we see. It then rolls out, and by algorithmic means, right, the more we get that thing traction flowing, the more eyeballs should theoretically see it. Beyond that, we're providing and asking for a gamescape that gives Kabam an easy place to market themselves. I think Lags brought up, I said, listen, Battle Realm Brawl sounds awesome, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's like I said with meetups. Official meetups are great. You know what's cool? Unofficial meetups. We all play this stupid mega buggy trash game together. Let's spend some time together and have some fun in the rest of real life, touch some grass. So going down and like, hey, planning a road trip where I want to have a couple meets with some people, let's do it. By creating this platform, this inertia that can come from this game mode will bring people in. 100%. 100%. If Battlegrounds never came out, I was on the verge of quitting because I didn't have something to strive. Then BGs, I wanted to be competitive, grow my account. Exactly, Nugs. Ace, BGs is my sole motivation for champ acquisition and rank ups. I can't imagine playing without BGs in the game. Man, you guys are on it. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. You have people who are engaging with your community, Kabam, to encourage your community, to grow your community, to help your game, who are only playing the game because they want to play BGs. And the more that they do and the more incentivized they are to do it, and the more you incentivize them, the more you're going to draw people in for your product. Now, stop making trash product and give them something to actually want to invest in, and we'll be in a better place. Because that's the root of where we're really at. How we really got here was you've been selling us a subpar product and not, you've had minimal expectations on yourself for rolling out a good product. And a lot of people are basically fed up with that because you should have higher expectations and you should do better. And that's where you need to be setting that next rung of your expectations to say, hey, our goal in 3 months from now is to roll out an update with no bugs. Is that not a good goal to have? I think we can work that way. I think we can make that happen. The low expectations and expecting us to just accept mediocrity is what got us here. The community has a tight community, but streams are an excellent place to maintain long-term players. As people freely found their place, that definitely adds value. Yeah, and it gives the community... Listen, if we have sweet vibing streams, you're more likely to be like, hey, alliance mate, hey, line chat I'm in with, hey, maybe even person in real life. I don't know. Check out this streamer. Like, I send people streams. Like, I've sent Trappy's stuff all over the place, right? I send Vega's tier lists out all over the place. I send war videos out all over the place. Like, we're trying to get more eyeballs in, not just to the YouTube space, but to like engage on that level of Kabam space. You know what I mean? What up, D-Fam? I've been playing this game for about I lost you. 9 years now and took a 1.5 year break. BG's brought back the enjoyment I felt for the game when I first started playing. Let's go. Let's go. I don't know about stopping champs, maybe drop 1 champ to 2. Yeah, that's better, right? They need to make some money. Sell me 1 champ. Take half those resources, put them back in. To where I started earlier, when Luke asked me, I'm gonna have to clip this stream down. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm not asking for a specific buff this reward here, do this specific thing with champs, do this specific thing, that specific thing. What I'm asking for is for love, trust, respect, communication. I'm asking for you to engage with me and the community to work together to form a symbiotic relationship where we communicate and work through all these things so you make a better game and product, our community is less frustrated, and you get to implement ideas early instead of doubling back after 2 years of frustration to say, hey, guess what? We removed the pause button. Well, thank you so much. If only you had listened to people 2 years ago, okay? You don't get a high five and a bunch of goodwill by saying, hey, we're finally doing the thing we should have done 2 years ago that you've been trying to tell us to do. It's not reasonable. It's not fair to us because that discounts our patience in the matter. And our patience in the matter have been very extreme, in my opinion. Very extreme. I can't wait for you to invest in us with a shirtless stream. Alberto, you're a savage, bro. A couple years ago when we got angry, they actually started caring. They actually improved things that we hadn't got a chance to complain about. Then they got stagnant. Yet, it takes effort to maintain a relationship, Tobias. It takes effort. It takes some commitment from both sides, okay? To be able to understand there are going to be feelings. Both of us have motivations and desires. And some of us, that means we're not going to get what we want, okay? But we can come to a compromised solution for the whole. And I think that at the very least, the CCP should be being engaged to be that compromise. I do think it should go broader than that personally, but at the very least, CCP. Also, at the risk of derailing, when am I gonna get my green name back? Oh, it's a mail. No, coming soon. So I've been checking my mailbox fervently. They emailed me Friday that my pin was on the way. So as soon as the pin gets here, I go in, put in address verification, then memberships are back, bro. We're back to green names. We're back to some of those streams where you hear some of this yapping. Usafa comes up with the hashtag Boston Meetup. Exactly, Usafa. Do it, bro. Do it. And again, it doesn't have to be super official. It can be Usafa posting on his Discord, hey, I'm gonna go hit lunch at this place this day. Anyone who plays this game in the area and wants to come join me, you're welcome. If not, I'll be there enjoying my lunch. Cheers. We can do that. It doesn't have to be super official. You guys are doing your thing. Anyone in Cincy, you're heading there this weekend. Down for Boston. Let's go. Let's go. Come to Canada, Calgary, Banff. Google Banff. You're going to love it. I'd be down to meet up with the boys. Okay. I'll see what you got. I will say, if they do a battle round brawl this year, I am very likely to go. Very likely. If they get to that, and at the end of it, that's one of the questions I have, and kind of one of the expectations I have moving forward, is when are you going to confirm for us if this is or is not a thing? If you expect us to book travel and get prepared. So I'm expecting some Kabam clarity on that, but we'll get to that because we haven't gotten to where I'm at. We're not there yet. I streamed, hold on. I streamed because I want to hang out and play BGs. Only time I don't care about winning is those matches. Exactly, bro. We're hanging out having fun. I'd show up if you promise not to jump me. Kaus, we're definitely jumping you and banning your silk. Just do your thing. Afo, I've seen a stream. Yeah, he did it the other day. No, he did. And I think he's coming back maybe this Friday. Yeah, he's coming back, bro. He's posting some more videos. This might be where he gets stuck. We'll see. I'm not gonna let it go forever, but we'll keep an eyeball. It's a vicious cycle. Kabam does bad, we get mad, we boycott, Kabam fixes it, we go back to step one. Happened last time Seaton called for a boycott. Totally agree. And you know what? This ties back to something someone mentioned earlier about trying to get us in position to spend and then monetizing. And this is a bad habit Kabam's had of of prioritizing and focusing on our sentiment only prior to big sales. They used to do it before 4th of July and before Cyber Weekend. We'd get the dev diary. Go back and look when those things come out. They came out as we were pissed off and before a big sale. And it's something that needs to be removed from the mindset. Okay, it needs to be removed from the mindset. We need to be crafting the path forward together and then going down that path. Or you craft the path and then just take our feedback. I don't care. But that's a requirement. That's what has to happen. And I say that from a has to happen standpoint of what I'm looking for in this potential boycott that I may or may not be participating in. Because I haven't said that yet. I haven't said anything. Can I get Void with Killmonger synergy for the realm? I don't know that we're going to make it to another one because Sinister's taking this down and we're almost to the end of this stream. I'm going to wrap this up. My wife's got some fried chicken out there. I have not eaten yet today, so I'm very much looking forward to getting some of that and getting after it. I come from an IT operations background. The fact that they are not able to prioritize game functionality bugs over anything else to me is outrageous. Yes, exactly. We're getting almost 2 years of input and lag issues. It's nothing sort of ridiculous. I can't wait to see the end timer on this fight. Yeah, I don't know that it will actually show you. So I might have to like try to shut off the autoplay, or we might have to check on stream. Okay, let me skim the notes of others before I get into kind of my final thoughts here. We'll see if JWill wraps back around. He's doing stuff. I said that I wasn't here to throw any weight behind this boycott. You know, I said in December and November that I was already slowing down my spending. I will expand on that later. I boycotted the power gain meta, right? As a trash meta to subject yourself to with no meaningful rewards. And now I'm the choir, bro. And I'm just loving to hear my people preach. So, JWill had some great stuff that he said in his stuff. Anything that sticks out. I questioned the data, the nightmare raids, the preemptive camp drop was big trash. There's really been just a crushing drop in the desire to push and compete. This is not a solutions stream. I will be interested in a solutions stream, depending on how some things go and what we talk about later. I like where Vega's at. You know, he noted that most of his deals recently are DNF, so it's not exhibiting a good relationship with us, right? Why the champ pools are bad? Like, give me a break. Why? Why would you create bad champ pools for anything? Doesn't make any sense. Ooh, the acknowledgement, and I'm glad it was put into the ether, but the acknowledgement that our time as a community is becoming even less valuable to Kabam. That's a key one in what we're about to talk about. It's a key one when we get to the summary of where I'm at, what I'm doing, and why. What up, Hank? We did get compensation because of the input issues for a while. 7.5 minutes? Let's go. Sinister did it. Kabam is okay with their own low expectations. Okay? I think one other great point that Vega made was that is that we don't know what they know. So often in communication, you communicate with people and you don't really take a step back to consider what they actually know in a situation and what they don't. And so, you know, a lot of times we'll apply banks of knowledge that we have to other people, assuming they have it as well, but they don't. And that's kabam. They're just like, pish posh, what are you guys asking questions about? And we're like, well, we don't know anything. We got no idea what's going on. So we want to feel respected. We want you to communicate. We want you to let us know. We want you to apologize. We want you to listen. We want you to work with us. We want you to take responsibility for where your failures have been. And more importantly, we want you to learn. We want you to learn from those failures. And when we provide you feedback that's going to prevent failures, take it, please. And if you don't, recognize it after the fact and come back and say thank you, and then learn then. Because making that progress is exceedingly important. BGs are the public face of the game, whether you like it or not. Radiance sounds good in theory. Again, has there been somewhere this has been done before? Please don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, there are tried and true practices. Just like my gentleman here from IT and economics, who are expressing that you have to make a decent product in order to be economically viable. Okay, focus in on making a viable, decent product, please. And let's work together to get it grinding and promoted and doing all the things, okay? Don't reinvent the wheel. If Radiance works, good. Roll it out in a way that works. But let's use something that guaranteed works, okay? And also, you're creating this new reward channel. You got us all a little hesitant about what that's actually going to look like because the game's too big, and yet here we are. It was wild that we got basically a blatant admission that they were off chasing new people and didn't give a crap about people who are hardcore gamers that play this game. It's wild to admit that you don't appreciate our time, and it's wild to admit that you purposely chose to ignore Battlegrounds for an entire year without telling us anything. All of that is incredibly wild to me. I expect... How do I put this? I expect some of this attitude of you going out chasing other people. Like in this relationship, I kind of expect you to treat me like crap, Kabam. I do. And welcome back, JWill. You've set a long history of expectations that I've been too accepting of, and we've been too accepting of, where we kind of are treated like crap. And we're just like, okay, we'll keep going. But how flippant in this post they were about basically crapping on their most hardcore group of players because they won't leave pains my soul. It is so indicative of a myopic mindset where you're not viewing the community in the proper light. Okay? As our boy Dread would say, love me! Love me, Kabam! What are you doing? Love me. Okay? We've been here. We've been here for a long time. We spend a lot of money. We spend a lot of time. Respect that. And don't just be flippant when you're telling us how you purposely ignored us for a year. It's jacked up. I can't believe it got this far, for real. We want data, and we understand that you can't share IP data and you can't share financial data. You're gonna pick and choose what you can. But there should be some measurables that come from where we go. And we're gonna talk about that because I have some thoughts on what I wanna see from here and what we should see from here. Okay. The last thing I'm gonna say to you guys is burn your marks this season. Okay, if I understand correctly, this is the last season of the solo event, which means after this season, Elder's marks are going to devalue significantly in terms of the rewards you'll get from them. Now, that could be different if they choose to reshape the Alliance event and increase those rewards, and so you as an Alliance would push. But as an Alliance, that's different than you pushing as an individual, right? So if you've got some marks to burn, you're going to get better value on them for now. Well, man, I yapped for quite a while, JWill. I bought you some time. I'm about to transition into kind of my final thoughts here and how I'm going to be approaching these things moving forward. But before I get off onto my final yap, is there anything else you'd like to discuss, either as a group together, or that you want to just say for the people?
I'll keep it brief because you have been, you've been on for at least 2 hours. So yeah.
Yes, no worries. Don't worry about the time.
Yeah.
This is the time where we're gonna take as much time as necessary to say what we need to say. So you say what needs to be said, and we'll keep going.
I will say that each and every one of you guys need to be intentional with how you're going to move forward. So whatever that looks like for you guys, don't be wishy-washy about it, because you don't want to send them mixed signals. You want to be very intentional to where they know that whatever you're demanding and or willing to deal with is crystal clear in their eyes. So if you got to skip on some things, if you got to not play sometimes, if you got to figure out a different hobby, career path, I don't know, whatever it is, be intentional with it. Don't half it. I would say half it, right? But do it to the fullest.
JWill, it's a PG-13 channel. You can say it.
Don't half-ass it, guys. Just honestly, do it and follow through on it, because that is going to speak volumes to Kabam when you actually follow through on what you say. But if you're saying one thing today, doing something else tomorrow, that's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. You're going to teach them that that's fine, because you're not going to be someone who follows through, and that would be more of a detriment to the community that is trying to push for a change. So that's really, in a nutshell, where I'm at.
Amen. I think that was well said. So what does that mean for you then, as you're encouraging everyone to address things as they see fit? This will be the last one, AFO. This is AFO's Weapon X. So far, by the way, Serpent and Sinister have cleared.
Nice.
What does that mean for you, or do you care to expand on how you're going to be approaching the game for the whatever period of time?
I think I will possibly do a small little video on how I'm going to move forward from this point, depending upon obviously X, right? So yeah, I think for now, that's my advice to everyone. I think that's where I'll leave it personally, because I don't want to say something today and then something change and then it be something else tomorrow. So I just rather refrain.
No, it sounds good. Well, I'll be looking forward to that, to see the JWill, here's where I'm at in a nutshell, for sure. Good to see you, Triple Z, by the way. Good to see you, Triple Z.
What up, Triple Z?
It's been a while, brother. Long time no see. Just got back in the game this war season. Definitely burned out on how grindy it has become. Grinder pay. Agreed. To me, it's pretty clear they cut costs and have the smallest team possible in order to keep the game running and milk the cow for as long as possible while investing the least possible back into it. I hope that's not true. It feels a little bit like that's not too far off base, but I hope that's not true. Truth Kabam, love you a long time, bro. Yeah, no, love me a long time for sure. That was a big reason I left. Lack of appreciation of the base that built the game versus trying to grab new players. I feel you, GD. I feel you. I wasn't around, in the meat of it, or as early as you were, so I can understand walking away, because frankly, from henceforth, like if we continue down the wrong road, I'll do the same thing. I will shift what we're doing here into something very different. But I hope that we don't get there. I think that this can all be solved. That's the thing that, to me, is the most optimistic light at the end of this tunnel. is as much as we've yapped and complained and all the things, this can be solved. And it's not a rocket science solution. As someone who worked with rocket scientists, I can confirm that this is indeed not rocket science to solve this problem. So I have some optimism. I'm not gonna lie, if they do remove the solo event and not update the alliance event, I'll be mad, but I'll be honest, that's gonna save me at least 5k units a month. I'm pretty confident that is what they're doing, Samael. Like, I think they said they're not gonna tweak the alliance event for now, and they're removing the solo event. And I thought whose comment was it about 2 seasons? I think it was Doug. I got the impression that we have 1 season of Double Dip. Maybe it's 2, but I think it's 1. If they would focus on fixing issues and keeping the main base, it would have drawn more new people while keeping the main base continuously happy. Exactly, GD. That's the balance. We want them to bring new players. They act like we don't. So, it's just not how it is. It's just not how it is. All right, they got to get their minds right. I don't understand why they can't tell us the most basic of stats. I want to know this. How many people actively play this game? Of them, what percentage of those breakdowns are at each progression, right? Ace, this is so true, right? Baseline data that doesn't change the game if we knew, but this shroud of secrecy, this veil of secrecy, this, we can't let you into the background unless, you know, you're X, Y, or Z, or IJ, or K. I don't even know who they do or don't tell anything. But I know that people who they should be sharing some of that data with, they're not. And they are reaping the rewards of their own missteps. You know, the reason the good book tells you to be careful of lying or laying devices for people to get trapped in is because you're going to get trapped in your own devices. Okay? Yeah. And look no further than, hey, the whole solo system and alliance system's being abused. Well, no kidding. When you created a system to monetize and incentivize down the string of Elder's Marks, what did you expect? You fell into your own trap. Okay? This is why we're here, trying to help that balance. Trying to help that balance. There are other ways to monetize this thing. There's gotta be a different solution. So, what up, Half? I appreciate you. No, we about to wrap this bad boy up. We're in the last fights here. I'm yapping. I'm gonna get into my last stretch here. So, we talked about Kabam. I appreciate the communication. I really do. We need more of this. Okay, we needed the BG's communication. We need the AI communication. We need the bug communication. We need the intercept communication. All of this communication needs to keep coming. We need it. Why? Because we, Kabam and us, we together, we, the cohesive, comprehensive we, need to work on improving our love, trust, respect, and communication. And communication is one of the keys of those. So I appreciate it. But let's get to my big points of why I'm feeling the way that I am. Let's start with communication, right? It's the one that earlier people were acknowledging is probably the one we need to deal with the most. What up, Hoop? Good to see you, brother.
Oh.
By the way, we're almost at 20 likes on that Alliance War video, so you're getting close. You're getting close. You were yapping too, Ace? That sounds good, bro. That sounds good. Any communication on offering is 25%. No. That's not communication. Let me get to my first point, and something I've said before on this channel about communication. Communication has more than one part to it. It's not just you putting posts out and telling us what's going on. The largest part of communication is listening. And you have demonstrated over the last X period of time, months and months and months, if not years plus, that you are not listening to us. You want this to be a one-way street. You want to be able to make every decision and have us either be happy with it or we get pissed, and then you sit in your back rooms and complain about the fact that we're mad. When you don't listen to what we're trying to say, because ultimately we're just trying to help you. Okay? We're just trying to help you. So, in terms of our communication, let's listen. Okay? I need to see some listening from Kabam. It's something you're so much worse at than even just telling us what's up. But you're bad at that. Listening is almost nothing. Okay. For instance, we've just been told that this game mode's viewed as niche and intentionally ignored for a year. That would have been nice to know. Would have been good to know. It would have been good to put some things out of like, hey, things are going to slow down a bit. Granted, you won't do that. Why? Well, that ties into the love, trust, and respect, doesn't it? Because you don't want us to know that you're going to ignore us. Because I probably won't be as motivated and incentivized to participate with you if you tell me that you're going to ignore me. But you know what? Still probably the right thing to do. You wouldn't have told us that. It diminishes trust in this relationship. The trust in this relationship is effectively nil. Okay? We don't trust the genuineness of communications. We don't trust the direction of developers. I don't trust your review of data. I don't trust your dev diary and timelines because let's go pull out the last ones. Okay? I don't trust your to be determined timelines. I don't. And I have good historical reason not to. I don't trust that you can implement things in this game without them breaking. Go back and watch my mastery videos when you're talking about mastery rollouts and what that was going to look at. And what did I say? I believe it when I see it. Why? Because I don't trust you. I don't. I want to. I want this relationship to be positive. Base is anyone. Thank you. It was a tab forever. We need to rebuild trust between company and community. These posts are some of the beginning of building trust, but words do not build trust. Actions build trust. So congratulations. You got a few weeks under your belt of building some goodwill and trust with us. You got a good traction. Keep it going. Okay? Keep it going. We don't trust communication. We don't trust execution. We can't trust basic gameplay. The only trust consensus in this community is that you need to make money and are out to do so, even if you're squandering it. And to this point, you're monetizing us to the flippin' 9th degree. And we don't like it anymore because you're not delivering a product that's worth being monetized to the gills and worth you treating us this way. It's just not. What you're churning out is not worthy. And that's why you're getting the sentiment that you are. Respect? I mean, some of these offers and things. This is where Vega boiled his video down to, so I'd really point back to him. He wants to be respected as a player, and he's the one who kind of said that the most. And so I'll let that tie to that, but we're looked at and kind of all lumped together as like this community who just throws fits and doesn't, has no nuance and can't communicate and can't discuss. That's not true. We have a vocal minority too. Just like there's a vocal minority that supports everything you do, we have a vocal minority that goes and complains about all the stuff that you do. But most of us are reasonable human beings who understand balance and nuance in life and the need to make money while making a good product. Whoa! Whoa! Novel concept. Okay? Respect us. It's not rocket science. Again, treating us like we're children, treating us like we need to be kept in the dark, treating us like we're a group that should be ignored for a year, then come back to after the fact because people threw a fit. You don't get as much kudos, for the record, if you come with a post and communication because we have people boycotting. That's not a W, okay? It's almost an equivalency of apologizing because you got caught. That's not a real apology, okay? You got caught. If you didn't get caught, you wouldn't apologize? Well, that's not as much. Would this post have come out? I do believe this post would have come out. I believe Kabam Crash would have done it. When? 6 months from now? See, that's the problem that we have right now, is that you think everything's like, oh, we put a post out, we'll let them know it's okay, we'll deal with it in 6 months. And that's not acceptable. We got here, okay? If you had ignored the game mode for 6 to 8 months, we could have bought you months, but you don't get months anymore. You spent that time chasing other players. Now you got to come back. Now you got to come back and take care of the people. Yeah, trust takes forever to build, but it's lost in an instant when you don't keep it. It's so true. And we got big trust issues amongst us. And that'll get us to the last one, which is love. Now, I don't expect a ton of love from a corporation that, again, I acknowledge is by nature psychopathic. That's what corporations are. They're tied to a bottom line. And so therefore I cannot expect them to show love how I would show love. But what I can expect them to do is to at least pretend to show love, because they understand that engaging and at least creating that feeling in their community is for their best interest. At least be a psychopath in that way, would you? Would you be a psychopath in the way that says, let me at least manipulate these people to think that I love them, and I'll do that by communicating and doing some buff stuff and listening to some of what they say, and then I'll make more money. You can do that, but you'll create a lot better feelings if you just show us a little bit of love. Feel me? You can go scheme in the back rooms, bro. We know how it works. I know how the world works. You're not pulling the wool over my eyes, okay? I listened to Tupac. I understand the game and what the levels of rules of the game are. And there are parts and levels of those rules that I just choose not to participate in because I don't care. But I know how the game works. And you want to go smoke your cigar and drink your scotch in a back room? I don't care. But where the rubber meets the road, where the game meets the community, at least pretend. That's all I'm asking for, bro. That's all I'm asking for. This is our conversations when I said management should just lie. Yeah, for real. For real. Yo, what up, Riley? Good to see you. Good to see you. So, when I look at my relationship with Kabam and our love, trust, respect, and communication that's gone back and forth, all of those are in a negative place. Communication, the one being the most recent with some little W's, but they're just that. They're little bits of communication. Now, like I said earlier, in December, I was noting to you guys, I was not happy with where the game was, and that I was targeting my spending so I could be competitive for 6 months. Okay. Then I boycotted metas before because I was unhappy with them. So what am I doing now? Given all of the things we've covered, okay, I am going to throw my support behind those who are with the bigger voices, the people who are speaking out, the people that people care about. Okay. I appreciate you all for being here, caring about what I'm saying, but the people who the masses care about. Okay. The Andys, the Traps, the Jays, the, everyone listening to this video, the MPs, right? The people with X thousand subs and they have attention. Okay. I'm throwing my support behind them because I want to encourage them to continue. I feel like we're finally unified. I feel like we're finally seeing things similarly to a point where we're ready to take action. The Kurds, yes. I feel like we're finally getting to a point where that's it, and I want to support that. So as of last night, I canceled my sigil. I don't have any other active expenditures going on in this game, nor am I going to for the foreseeable future. As of this morning, I pulled out of every single Battlegrounds tournament I'm in. Even if I had pending matches, I let those matches go and told those people, hey, unfortunately, given the state of where things are, I'm gonna forfeit. I wish you guys the best in your matches, but I can't do that. So as of this moment in time, with the exception of my people in Alliance War, my feelings and heart and soul are separate from this game. I am no longer going to pour myself into it in the way that I have until we see some traction on these actions. Okay. Let's see, what do I want to note here? Yeah, what I'm doing is less of a boycott, because again, my little bit of time, my little bit of money, really my little bit of money to Kabam, they don't care about my money. They don't care about what I'm saying on my channel. So to me, I'm not like, I'm with all the guys, I'm with the boycott, come look at me. This is not about me. This is about us. I don't care about attention from this. What I care about is Kabam working with us to fix a game. That's what I care about. That's what I want out of this. So go support the people who are vocalizing these things, making these changes. Go give them the support to push. Go give them the support to stand. When you're standing up against someone who's trying to push you around, it's tough. I played on the offensive and defensive line, okay? I know what it's like to get pushed around. You gotta stand there, you gotta lock in, and it takes a lot of energy and effort. Go support these guys in what they're doing, because their voices and their monies mean a lot more than I do. But what I'm doing is I am going to reclaim my resources. I am going to reclaim my money. I'm going to reclaim my energy. And most importantly, I am going to reclaim my time. Time is the ultimate resource. Time is what everything else is measured against. Even when we're talking about money, we're talking about money in relationship to how many hours of time you exchanged for that money. Okay? It's salary, whether you're doing it as running your own business, it all boils back to an investment of your time. And the last time I went to Boycott the Meta, I joked that I wanted to make a video thanking Kabam for freeing up so much of my time. Now, I didn't take that as seriously as what I'm about to describe to you, what I'm going to do. But I will no longer allow my time to be spent so frivolously, engaged with someone who's telling me that they don't respect and care for my time. My time is not important to them. My time was not valuable to them 2 years ago, and in the last 2 years, my time has gotten any less, or it has gotten less valuable. Okay? I will be reclaiming my time. Imagine your favorite game mode being less valuable than Arena. Okay, it kills my soul. It kills my soul. So, how am I summarizing this? Thank you, Kabam. Thank you. You finally pushed the community to take enough of a stance to encourage me to draw a hard line on reclaiming my time. So thank you. I appreciate you for driving us to this point. I may actually make a video with all of the things that I'm accomplishing with my new freed up time, because I'm going to free up that time. I want to thank you for the lack of incentive to meaningfully dedicate time to a game mode that's less valuable than Arena, or to a game for at least the next month. I now don't have to pour myself into it from a time perspective. Now, streams, this all means something. I'm still part of Alliance. I have responsibilities I have to uphold. I am still going to play BGs. I still am going to have extra marks. So here are the rules for BGs for this upcoming season, okay? We will be playing for tokens. And there's a period there. If all I need is tokens, then we're gonna play 3 matches for tokens or whatever till we win, and I'm done. Now, the exceptions to that, if I have marks expiring, I'm going to play BGs to use those marks. I don't want my marks to expire. They go to my Alliance score. I still have responsibilities to uphold as an Alliance member. I will hit my minimums. And you know what? The third exception is if we come all the way to the end of the season and I still have X number of points that I need to get to hit my Alliance min, I'm gonna grind what I need to. But I honestly think that I'll be able to basically hit my 300k this season, minimally playing for marks. Why? Because you're not worth my time. It's not worth investing my time in a game mode where you don't think my time's worth rewards. I'm just not doing it. You've crushed my desire to compete. So, I've pulled out of all the tournaments. I'm playing for marks. We'll get to what I'm going to fill some other streams in, because I have some ideas with stuff we're going to do. The streams, if anything, my stream count will be going up, even with BGs going down. Okay? Friendlies are still on the table as much as you guys want to, because that's you and us. That's us building our relationship. So regardless of my relationship with Kabam, it's not my relationship with you. The good news is, here's the good news. One, I've got other content for us to stream. So one, I've got my own BG's account. I've got a BG's account on my small account. I still have necro paths to do on my small account. All of those things are going to fill stream time, and we're still going to be engaging and spending our time together. There's still going to be 9.2. We're going to have content to play, spending time together. But BGs is on the way out. The hours that I spend playing BGs that you guys don't see, no one realizes that. You guys don't realize how much we play this game to be able to compete at the level that we do. Not this season. It's not going to happen. You'll be seeing me play with the slow people. The second part of good news is with that time that I'm saving, I'm going to put that time directly back into the channel and the Discord. I need to add stickers. I need to add sounds. I want to get clips. You guys saw my thumbnail for my Alliance War showcase. I have enlisted someone who's going to help me with thumbnails. I want to build a team to get the channel and traction moving to the next level. I'm going to commit down this road. And so I'm going to take my time away from Kabam. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you in the sense of expanding this channel, finishing some of my member stuff that I need to put together, and engaging in that way. A video on channel direction and developments might be warranted. I don't know yet if I'm going to do that, but I'm making a list. I'm working my way through it. That's where I'm at for the next month. And we'll see what season 28 looks like. There are a lot of things on that list are meant to be done over the next month. You should get that PMP license, actually. I've encouraged people to do that, Afo. This is the month to reclaim your time. And let's see what Kabam comes back with. And this goes for me. So for BGs, it's a one season thing. It's a one season thing. Come back in season 28. Let's see what nodes are. Let's see what the restructure looks like. And I may get back into it. I want to get back into it. I want to play more tournaments. I want to be in the tournament scene. I want to go compete with people. But that requires me to invest a lot of time playing the game mode off stream and doing things to be good, to study up, that I'm just not going to spend right now. And so before I can be incentivized to do that, we need to take a break. We need to see what Kabam now needs to deliver, which is a nice segue to what's else is coming up is, for my BGs, you need to deliver on BGs. But for my money, you need to keep going, okay? You need to take that dev plan and you need to keep going. You need to come back to us with no to be determined timelines. You need to keep providing the communication of when this stuff's gonna get done. You need to keep telling us how you're gonna fix BGs, how you're gonna fix AI, how you're gonna fix inputs. You need to learn to listen to this community. Again, we told you the game was too big. We told you the Elder's Mark sucked. We told you that pausing sucked. We told you that matchmaking sucked. We've offered solutions and it's gone on deaf ears. No more. That needs to stop. I know that we are a group that can be emotional. I know that we are a group who can be misguided. I know that we are a group who can complain. But we are primarily a group that is doing this from a place of love and wanting things to do well and be fun. I know that that can rub people the wrong way, but it is what it is. You ask of our time and our soul and our money and our resources to pour in. We're asking of you not to crap on it. Not to crap on it with nightmare flops. Not to crap on it with untested trash. Not to crap on it with predatory offers. Not to crap on it with condescending posts. Love us. Respect us. Kabam. Please. Please. That is what fixes this problem, and you never get back here again. I believe that I can help. I would like to join the CCP. JWill has encouraged me to join the CCP.
Let's go.
I
That's
want
awesome.
to do it, but I want to do it in the same way that I want to play tournaments. I want to, but I can't right now. I can't right now because you're demonstrating to me that you don't give a shit anyway. I'm not going to go waste my words. I'm not going to go waste my effort. I'm not going to go waste my soul if you're not going to listen. So, listen, demonstrate some learning from this thing that's happened this month. And you will enlist people like me who love this game, who are very reasonable, who are committed, and who want to help you be successful and the community be successful. You will have me invested in helping you resolve those things. But you gotta show me first. You gotta love me first before I'm willing to love you anymore. So, I hope you do. I hope you do. Will you? Show me. I really do. So, we will revisit a CCP application when the season 28 rewards hit. Or sorry, when the restructure hits, and we will revisit this conversation on what the rewards look like and any other updates we've had from Kabam. If they continue on this road, if they continue communicating, if they continue trying to build a positive relationship with us, I will apply for the CCP. And if they accept me, I will diligently strive to make this game the best that it absolutely can be. But if they don't, well, then I'm reclaiming my time. I'm giving that time to my people. I'm giving that time to my friends like JWill. I'm giving that time to my family. I'm giving that time to my work. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't work cheap. I don't. I do YouTube for fun. I hang out and do these things for fun. I want to grow this channel because I think there's a broader message and value to be brought here. But my time is not cheap. And so for me to sink it into a company that could not care, I can't do that. It would be poor stewardship for me. To all the rest of you. To all of you. To JWill, to AFO who just bounced, to you in the chat, to anyone who watches this in the future, I would be being a bad steward of my time and passion if I just kept sinking it into the sinking ship. So, that's where I'm at. I'm out of BGs from a competitive standpoint until one season from now. I want to apply for the CCP. I want to, but I gotta see some more than just a post with this stuff. And I want to throw all of my support to all of you beyond the people who are boycotting and public and all the stuff. I want to throw my support behind exactly what JWill said, that we all need to measure how we're going to approach this and how we're going to move forward. And I'm looking forward to your video. I encourage you all to do the same. My yapping is done. I've officially hit the end of my live stream time and my thoughts of where we are on this Mega Buggy Trash video game. JWill, how you doing, brother?
Yeah.
You lasted most of the 3 hours. How you doing over there?
I'm okay, man. I am feeling good. I'm feeling good. I think what you said resonated really well. I think I will say how I feel on a video upcoming over the weekend, I think.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. You got a big voice in the game. One of the most respectable and respected voices in the game. Jason, from Jason and Jabari, thank you very much for being here, brother. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having this conversation with me. Thank you.
I appreciate you having this conversation with me. Yapping with me, letting me yap, yapping together, building a good relationship. Hey, let's go. Thank you all for hanging out. As we saw, we now know that Sinister and Serpent are your Realm of Legends auto farming champions and can clear the entire map on their own. So when you're auto farming potions, there you go. Slap those two on there. Let them go to town while you're doing everything else around the house. And let's make it happen.
There you go.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll be back later this week, probably getting into BGs for the first time, etc. There will be another war video coming if you guys get it up to 20 likes quick.
I can hear you.